Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk episode 150. I hope you're all having a lovely Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever you're watching this episode of the ReelTok Podcast. I am George, sat alongside my two very sexy co-hosts, Mr. Seth and Mr. Tyler. We don't have Cam today. Next couple of weeks are going to be a bit all over the place. You're not going to have me next week, and I think the following week we won't have Tyler, and then or maybe Cam. So maybe a bit all over the place the next couple of weeks, but here to give you guys content. We got some good episodes coming out for you. We're talking him today. We're talking a big, bold, beautiful journey. Going to recap the Emmys a little bit. And then I feel like this week, compared to the last couple of weeks, we've gotten a little bit more trailers and more news, more things that actually warrant conversation. But we'll start with the gentleman. Tyler, how you been? How's week 3 in Texas? Week 3?
No, it's gonna be longer than that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're on to like 4 or 5, but I've been traveling a good amount of it. But no, it's good. This week didn't travel for the first time in a while, so I had time to keep unpacking and getting things set up. Basically like 90% there at this point, so that's exciting. I've been doing a lot of wedding prep this week too, trying to get things all set for that. So, that's getting closer and closer. So needing to start buckle down and getting things set for that. But yeah, it's Riley's bachelorette party this week. So she's been gone since Tuesday. Well, her bachelorette party technically started like Friday, but she went up to Dallas for a few days to do like her dress fitting and some other stuff with her family where they live. Then they all went up to Oklahoma, where their family has a cabin on Lake Texoma, and they've been having a bachelorette party there. I think they went to the casino last night, saw a bunch of pictures from that. So I think she's been having a blast with all her friends. She gets back tomorrow-ish, and then I leave tomorrow to go to Detroit for a few days for work. And then my bachelor party's coming up not next weekend, but the weekend after. So my bachelor party. So I'm really excited for that. Going to Lake Tahoe for mine, so should be fun.
Hell yeah.
But other than that, week was pretty standard, just a lot of catch up just because I had been traveling the previous like 3 weeks. So it's like the first time I could kind of catch my breath. Had a crazy experience with trying to see Anemone.
Yeah. Can you talk about this?
It was well, like if they wanted publicity for the movie, like I got basically a ton of traction on a tweet talking about a canceled screening. So hopefully they enjoyed that publicity, but it was the weirdest thing, man. So it was at this theater in Austin. If you're familiar with the area, it's called Galaxy Highland. And the screening was supposed to be at 7:00. So at 4:30, I got a schedule. I went to that theater early and went to see him because the theater's like 30 minutes from me. My normal theater's like 8 minutes from me. So I'm like, if I'm going to drive, might as well like knock out 2 and 1. So I go see him. I knew I had to see it for the pod anyways. Watch that. It's like an hour and a half movie. So it was done with like an hour to spare, basically. 6:00 gets done. I go out to the front, like ticket taker area. I'm like, oh, which theater is the press screening for Anemone in? Because it's at 7:00 at that theater. They said, I think they're still setting up, but it's in theater 5, I believe. So I'm like, okay. I go kind of sit and like loiter outside of theater 5. Starts to be a decent amount of like people filtering in, like dressed like business casual. Probably ages like 50 to 60 was the sweet spot. And just a couple days earlier, I went to a Big Bold Beautiful Journey press screening in Austin at Alamo South Lake or South Lamar. And people were like 50 to 60 mostly dressing business casual. So I was like, okay, this is probably like the same crowd. I think there's just like the demographic of the critics in the area. I think everyone just kind of dresses a little nicer for these things, and this is their age. Didn't think anything of it. But then there's like a booth set up outside of the theater 5, and it was for like the Anti-Defamation League. And I was like, again, didn't think anything of it. Screenings sometimes are like hosted by organizations or different parties or speakers, and they kind of come out before the movie, give a little spiel, and then they present a screening. So I'm like, okay, didn't think anything of it either. It gets to be like 6:45. There's a bunch of people in the lobby, so I like start filtering into theater 5 because I'm like, this is where the screening's supposed to be. Go in there, and then at like 7, when the movie's supposed to start, they come in. There's like these 3 different speakers. One's from like the Anti-Defamation League. One's from like the Americans for Separation of Church and State, some weird organization I never heard of. Another one was like a society of like Jewish women trying to like Find Righteousness or something. It was like a bunch of organizations started like talking before like the movie starts. I'm like, okay, this is not what I expected. But again, I've been to early screenings before, and usually sometimes they're sponsored by some organization. So okay,
sounds like
miserable to sit through.
Yeah, and the thing is with Anemone, like seeing the trailer, I have no fucking idea what this movie's about. So I'm like, this could all be related. Like I saw because the trailer is so like ominous and mysterious,
crazy,
like,
ambiguous.
It gives you nothing. So I'm like, and then they keep talking about like, the movie speaks for itself. I'm like, okay, like
how long were the talks for?
They were quick. It was probably 3 minutes per person. It was 3 people, so it was like real quick spiel. Most of it was just like, thank you for coming. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. And I don't know many of these people here. There's only my second press screening in the area, and it's a different studio than what Big Bold Beautiful Journey was. So then the movie starts, and it's like opens with like a shot of the White House. I'm like, dude, there's no shot. This is Anemone. So then I like lean over to this woman like next to me. I'm like, what movie is this? And I was like frantic. And she's like, oh, it's a documentary about like the current struggle for like civil rights in America. And I was like, great, not the fucking theater I'm supposed to be in. So I get up and bolt out of the theater, just sprint out of there. Like I'm like panicking. And she's like, oh, you dipping out? Now I look like I'm just like some fascist asshole. I'm like, oh God, get me out of here. And I just sprint out of the theater right when they start this documentary about like how America's crumbling and we need to like wake up and save it. So I leave, run right back to that fucking ticket taker. I'm like, what theater is the Anemone screening in? Because at this point it's like 7:25. The screen's supposed to start at 7. I'm there because I'm supposed to be doing a brand deal with them. So I'm like, I'm fucked because I'm gonna have to lie and basically say I missed the first third of this movie because I was in some damn like screening of some documentary.
A brand deal with Anemone or the theater?
Anemone.
Oh, okay,
So I'm like, what theater is this in? And she's like, she's like, the screening's canceled. I'm sorry. I'm like, well, I was so confused. The manager finally comes over. He's like, yeah, we just told all the other critics that were in the lobby, like we had to cancel it because we forgot to download it to our library. So we didn't have the movie in our files. So I'm like, what the fuck? So then I like walk out of the theater, find one of this guy who's like on his phone. I just kind of assumed he looked like he was probably like the organizer, like the studio rep. So and he was, and I was like, oh, what's going on? He kind of explained the whole thing. He's like, yeah, it was canceled, like miscommunication with the theater. And it wasn't all lost because I'm like new to Austin and I'm trying to get all these like contacts in the area. And he kind of gave me some. And I also met a couple people that are like critics in the area that were super nice people that were kind of out there waiting and figuring out what they were going to do because they had 2 hours back of their night. And there's a lot of people in town for Fantastic Fest. So that's kind of like why they had it, is because there's basically a ton of critics are in town right now for Fantastic Fest in Austin. So they wanted to have an Anemone screening. And so, yeah, whatever. Long story short, they got the rescheduled for like Friday this upcoming week. So I think I'm going to go to it then. But that was like the most bizarre, weird thing ever. Cause I was like, go to the screening that like this freaking ticket taker tells me it's in theater 5, which to be fair, they're just some like minimum wage worker. They're probably like, oh, the event screening of the night. Yeah, it's theater 5. So I go to theater 5, whatever. And I'm get trapped in this like documentary spiel. And then I'm like sprinting out of there. Honestly though, it being canceled was like the best outcome. Cause I would have been like so mad if it wasn't canceled. I like run out 20 minutes late and have to like go into the movie late, which with press screenings are kind of like locked down. So I'm like, probably they wouldn't have even let me in, to be honest, in the first place. Like if you're 20 minutes late, like you're not going to get in to see the rest of the movie. So then I would have been real fucked because then I would have just had to like, I don't know, chat GPT, like break into the files of Anemone, watch the movie and summarize it for me so I can act like I saw the movie and was like I was supposed to. But it all ended up working out in the end. I met some cool people. You
did not watch the movie at all? Did not watch it. They didn't even start.
You should do a video on this talking about it. That's a great story time.
Yeah,
like
it's
really funny.
That was dude, the panic that set into me when but like the gradual confusion was so bizarre.
I can see
how old was this ticket booth kid that you were yelling at?
I wasn't yelling. It was probably like, I don't know, 23 or something.
This kid was probably high as fuck.
Yeah. Well, also too, because I went to the theater at like 4:30, and Galaxy is like, I think it's like a solo theater. I don't think it's a chain. And when I walked in for him at 4:30, the theater looked like it hadn't seen a guest in decades. Like I was like, is this theater even like a thing? When I left him though, it was like very busy, which was good to see because it was a cool little theater spot, and I was happy to see that it's like popping and there's people going. But when I went to him, I was like, dude, how is this place holding like exclusive screenings? Because like this, and the guy there like almost felt like he was in some like alternate universe where like he hadn't seen a guest in 10 years. And I walked in and he was like, I was like, here's my ticket. And he was just like staring at me with the Gen Z stare. I'm like, what theater am I going into, guy? Like, come on, stay with me. But yeah, that dude,
that's so funny.
It's just extra tough too. Cause like Anemone is such like a mystery movie right now where no one knows exactly what it's about. So when they're like explaining like this, like about like, it's the battle of right and wrong and like separation of church and state, like seemed like totally a thing. Like Daniel Day-Lewis like grappling between like the government and like religion, and like from the trailer I'm like, oh, I could totally get those vibes. It was just gradually getting more weird and then darted out of there.
How long were you watching it before you like
the actual documentary? I watched for like 3 seconds before I'm like, oh no.
I wouldn't have clocked on that quickly, you know. I would have just thought, oh, maybe they've put some like little
no. I mean the opening shot was like an aerial shot of the White House with like a Donald Trump quote like speech playing in the overlay. So right away I was like, this is not Anemone.
I would have still been like, oh, this is weird. Oh, maybe it's just,
maybe
this is just the intro, whatever.
Well, that's kind of why I didn't run out right away. I like turned to the person next to me. I'm like, what movie is this? Because also like they didn't dim the lights either. Like, what the fuck's going on here, dude? Like, they
didn't dim the lights.
Maybe they did after I left. I got out of there. But
that's so weird.
It was a fun story, wild experience.
That's brilliant.
I saw him before, so it wasn't all lost. I mean, we'll talk about him later. It's not like it was my favorite movie, but at least I didn't drive like 30 minutes isn't that far. I'm just being complaining. But again, I met cool people in the area that wrote for a couple different outlets that were some younger critics, and I'd never seen them before on Film Twitter or anything. So it was like cool to talk to them. They were really nice. So shout out you.
Anyone we'd know?
No, their names like I've legitimate like I think that like I've followed the guy on Twitter, and I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. I think it's Roberto, but it's like he has a Twitter account, but he's like not like doesn't tweet. Like it's not like a big it's such a non-film Twitter critic, you know, they actually do exist in the wild, even though I refuse to believe they do.
A real person.
But yeah, it was a bizarre night.
That's very funny.
Yeah,
you really should make a video about that.
I hope I can see Anemone Friday. Yeah, like I tweeted it, but like I was gonna make a video about it. But I'm like, if I'm doing like a deal,
you didn't
with them,
tweet it like that though. The way you just said it was so funny.
Yeah, I mean,
really think
the whole point of my tweet was mostly just to be like, well, shit, I just said I'm watching this movie. I got to explain why I'm not actually watching this movie.
Yeah.
We get to see Anemone this week because I'm really excited for it, and you know, the Day-Lewis duo. But
I didn't get tickets for that.
For the White House documentary. Yeah,
George, did you get tickets for Anemone, or was it not showing?
That was a late ad for George, right? That was on Instagram.
Was that one of your late ads? I didn't get tickets.
It was a late ad. Yeah. I didn't. So I have screenings this Friday, and then I didn't screen myself for anything for Saturday or Sunday because I'm going to be away. But so I didn't pick up Anemone because the opening Q&A screening is at like 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But then they invited me to the screening, and I was like, like I could be home by 3 p.m. Like,
yeah, how away are you going to be? Just like
I'm gonna be. If I take the train, it'll be like a 2.5-hour train ride. If I can get one of my friends to drive me to like Jersey City, and then I train to the Upper East Side to my apartment, it'll be like 2 hours maybe. So it's really not that bad.
Yeah, they sold out like instantly for. Well, Daniel Day-Lewis is doing a talk here, like they do like one of the screen talks. Yeah, and I can't tell you how quickly that sold out. It was like,
yeah, I mean, I fucking
instant. It was the craziest shit. But I'm hearing
absolutely believe it.
Oh yeah, quickly what I've been watching. I forgot about that. Let's see. I watched
not an Anemone.
No, not Anemone.
Did you log the documentary? Did you get a log out of it?
I don't even know what it was called.
You should have just logged it.
You should have logged it, and then with the story, you know.
I'm sure they all think I'm like the biggest MAGA head at this point. The fact that like the second I heard about like injustices, I like bolted out of that theater
just for quickly dipping.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
But I finished. I guess I'll say finished. I started it technically by the time we were watching last pod, but finished Zack Snyder's Justice League and Georgia.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't like it as much.
That's okay. I saw your rating. It's all right.
But what I'm also wondering is like I also want to rewatch Batman Begins eventually too, because I'm realizing which is true for any film, not just comic book films, but so much of like a movie's rating and like how it impacts you is like when you watch it. because the first time I watched it was when I was going through comic book movies, and I watched Justice League immediately, and then watched Zack Snyder's Justice League right after, and like the gap of improvement it blew me away, and I was like, this is like a whole different thing. I loved it. So probably overinflated it. And then same thing with Batman Begins. I would say like I watched the entire MCU and then jumped over to start watching DC when I was like first got Letterboxd. And obviously like the most recent MCU movies are like amongst the worst ones. So like I like watched a bunch of like 2.5 stars and below, and then dive into Batman Begins. And it's like, whoa, this is like a movie. And the other ones were not. So it's like hits you so much harder. But I didn't love it as much. Riley was like really struggling. I can't remember what, She gave me like a rundown of every character, and she says, this is she's like, not my Batman, not my Joker. She likes Cyborg, doesn't like the Flash. She actually liked Wonder Woman, doesn't like Henry Cavill at all as Superman.
What?
Which, to be fair, like Zack Snyder's Justice League, even though it's a 4-hour movie, you only get like 20 minutes of him. So it's like, and most of it's like him fighting. So you really, if you don't see Man of Steel, it's kind of going to be hard to only watch that and grasp onto Cavill. Didn't like Alfred.
Is it like parts?
Yeah, it's like 6 parts total, I think.
I always say if it was released as a limited series, I think it would have been received so much better. But the fact that it's just a continuous 4 hours.
Yeah, I'm sure it was just like a miracle it was even made in the first place. So like, Zack Snyder's like, all right, just get it out however you need to.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, it's just so long, man. And the slow-mo does really start to drag on you in the first half. I think Cam said that in his review. But I do love all that added backstory to get to these characters. I think even though I was like, because Riley was asking me so many questions during it, and like I've seen all the DC EU movies, and I was like, she's like, what is going on right now? I'm like, I don't really know, honestly. To be honest, they're kind of losing me a little bit here. They have to do some intense little coordinated stunts to, you know, get Superman awake and reverse the time. And she's like, how does this work? I'm like, you
should have just FaceTime me in.
I should have, and you would have pulled up with like a whiteboard and like glasses and like a little Q-tip pointer.
Would have told you everything.
I watched Hard 8 and The Master, which are 2 of the PTAs that I hadn't seen previously. So we'll kind of save that for next week when Seth and I, and then maybe Cam will do a PTA episode and talk Boba. And then A Big Bold Beautiful Journey I'll review by myself in a little bit. But that's kind of all I've been watching. Not a whole lot. Yesterday was like college football day, posted again like 12 TikToks and backseat coach, and I'm traveling this week prepping a ton. So Riley's been gone, so I was wanting to watch a ton of movies, and I have been grinding and working, but only got a couple PTAs watched. But this next week it's gonna be my main priorities. Finishing all.
You haven't got many left, have you? That you haven't seen?
No, I've seen not. Those are the only 2, so I've seen them all now. But I ideally want to, because of so many of them I haven't seen in years. Ideally, I'm just gonna try and rewatch a bunch. And Punch Drunk Love's like the low hanging fruit. It's like quick, like 85 minutes. Let's knock that out. But the rest are like 2 hours, 20 minutes. So that'll be a little more difficult to get done.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Seth, how you been, dude?
Oh, okay. I saw One Battle After a Pika.
Yeah, I'm so jealous. I did not realize you were seeing it this early.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was meant to go to the premiere. Like I told you guys, it was my birthday on Tuesday, so I spent some time with Anna and did some shit. So I was going to go to the premiere, but then I was like, I can't be bothered, because there was a screening tomorrow. I was like, let's just go to that instead.
Was the screening closer, or was that also in London?
No, it was in London, but I was going, like I showed you guys, I did the like Batman Day thing.
Yeah, that was
better for your schedule.
Yeah, that was crazy. So essentially what it was to kind of like promote, it wasn't paid or anything, it was just an event to play the new like Lego Batman game that's coming out next year. It was cool, it was great, it was really, really fun actually. But they took us, and we didn't realize this, they took us to this Batman archive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't even allowed to know where it was. Like we had to, when we got there, we had to turn our locations off on our phone.
That's
so
sick.
I have photos on my phone of things that I'm not allowed to say.
That's
which
crazy.
is really annoying. So we had to like, because there was stuff there that basically it was like a Warner Bros thing. So there was stuff there that wasn't just Batman related. There was stuff there that was from like, Warner Bros franchises and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they were screen use props. So I sent you guys and George a photo of me and Bale's Tumblr, which was fucking crazy.
That was crazy.
I also went in like Pattinson's one. We saw Keaton's one as well, like the OG, which is fucking wild.
Are they all functional, or some of them functional?
They have to. So we were speaking to the guys. They were really, really sound. So like big Batman guys in general. So they were fully working cars. The Keaton one, they don't really drive anymore because it's like, what was it, 89, the first one. So that's a bit, But But the Tumbler and the thing, apparently the Tumbler is like the worst thing in the world to drive.
I was gonna say, because looking at the picture, I was like, oh, when I saw the picture of you in it, I was like, oh, so I guess it's just like the model they used to like overlay on the actual car they used. I'm like, how are you seeing out that windshield?
No, they
drive.
I'm like,
that windshield, that doesn't look street legal. That's
in the film, they like, in the film, it like rocks back and forth, and it's like shaky as fuck. Apparently, it's literally just the same thing. Yeah, like it's wild. And we saw like
that sounds horrifying.
Yeah, bro, so claustrophobic inside one of those as well. Like it's so ridiculous.
Because I'm sure they don't give a fuck what the inside looks like. I'm sure it's all about like making the outside cool and the inside.
But the outside was, and like I sat on like the bike and stuff as well. Bale's bike and stuff that comes off the car. It's cool. And we also saw like all the suits and stuff. So I saw like Pattinson's suit. I saw Bale's suit. I saw a 1-of-1 Heath Ledger Joker suit with the grenades in the.
Yeah, that was sick. That one was sick.
I was like terrified because I'm stood next to this, right, and it didn't have any protection on it. And this is like 1-of-1 he wore. If I touched that, do you know what I mean? Like I am fucked. Like I was speaking to the guy and we were thinking like how much I think it's worth, how much they think it's worth and stuff. And he was like, when it comes to something like that, it's just priceless. It's just whatever we'll pay, but it's in the six figures, obviously. So
I would ask to put it on.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of did ask about that for Pattinson's, and he was like, yeah, probably not. But yeah, fair. Yeah. But they had like all the like Zoe Kravitz's ones as well, and like Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, Colin Farrell's, all the different suits and stuff. And then they had like I put it on my story like loads of the Riddler props as well, like all the cards he did, like the handwritten cards.
Yeah.
And then his mask. And like the mug that has like the symbol in it, the coffee that has like the Riddler thing in it.
Yeah.
So everything. It was really, really cool. Amazing day. And then we went back to we had like a private screening of Batman Returns, which was fun as well. So yeah, that was a really, really cool day. I
feel like the UK beats America in terms of like these like immersive experiences.
Always.
Because like I feel like screenings
Sammy went to the same thing. Do you remember like the other day he went to
in America?
Yeah,
Sammy did.
Sammy put it on the story this morning or yesterday.
He
went to like an archive. It might have been in LA, but so what they were saying is, with like the tumblers, for example, they essentially built like 7. One of them was destroyed in filming, which is crazy.
Naturally.
And there were 4 at the archive that I went to, so like 4 in a row. But then there was also 2 in the US. So I'm assuming Sam went somewhere to those.
Okay.
Because it's usually like 1 in different locations, and they kind of travel them around a bit. It's just because a lot of filming locations are here. Like some of the other stuff we saw as well were just like insane. But it was really cool. It was a good day.
Are you a fan of Tron? Because I just saw yesterday they said like the UK is gonna have like a Tron Ares like experience. I'm like, damn, that's another sick thing the UK is gonna get that America won't.
I nearly was gonna go to that. I got an email about it the other day, but it's like the film festival thing. And also I don't really care about Tron. Like it's not really something on like it does sound cool.
Either. I feel like the experience would be cool, but
yeah. They did for what's that boys show? The like spin-off show.
Gen V?
Gen V.
Yeah, Gen V. They did like a thing here where it's like I nearly said yes, but I was like, I've never seen the boys. It feels a bit disingenuous. Like,
yeah, you don't have to
going to like the boys like school, and then you do like a day of like stunts and shit. That sounded kind of cool. But yeah, like recently it's been a lot of experience out of things, and they're always good. But I think like that was a massive highlight of the week, just seeing all the stuff, and kind of being among greatness. And then the one battle after another screening was amazing. I've had so many comments on my review about how I've been paid by Warner Bros, which is
yo, obviously
it's crazy because like, bro, this is like a PTA film.
It also does not help that the one battle after another.
I know.
Twitter reposted you,
which they didn't ask for, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know
that's crazy.
But like people don't know that.
I know, like it's crazy.
I can't. It's so funny they like included Alex in that too, and like dude hasn't seen the movie.
Yeah,
but shout out, Jamal Burkmar just going from 0 to hero. He even gotten in that one too. So it's like
he did.
Yeah, that was sick. You're the first one featured. That's crazy. They didn't even ask. Like I guess like I don't even know. I guess I thought you still needed usage rights, but I guess.
I think you do. I think they just don't give a fuck because it's like free publicity at the end of the day. It's got like a little name.
And they're not wrong. I don't think anyone's really upset about them being included, but it's that video they made was sick though. Like obviously I love seeing like, familiar faces and friends being included, which was awesome. But like the way they like edited all your guys' comments with like the music growing, I was like, this is like the best commercial they came out with yet for the movie.
It was cool. I think, but it's just one of those things like you guys will have it as well. If you don't like a film, it's like the comments are all like, this guy doesn't like anything. If you love a film, it's like, oh, you obviously paid to say that.
Mm-hmm.
which one is it? You don't get paid for reviews. It's not a thing. And if you do, you'll fucking see I'm paid for review.
Yeah, so some people do.
Probably some people do, yeah.
Names.
Okay. Well, you don't get paid. If I'm in a review and I'm saying like fucking negatives as well, who the fuck is going to pay me to say that? Obviously, I didn't with PTA, but still.
Just so like people listening, if you are confused about reviews, though, I'd say like again, other people might have gotten paid for reviews. I don't know, but what studios do like 99% of the time is they'll pay you to say, talk about like what this movie's about and say like it's coming out this day. They're not going to say like, here we're going to pay you like X amount of money to review the movie and say you love it. No, it's always like, this movie's coming out in theaters in a week. We would love you to build hype for it, talk about what it's about, say the release date, or this movie's going to come out on Blu-ray. So don't review the movie, just say like, this movie's about this. Sometimes they'll say like the general reactions are this, but I've never ever been asked to like say like review this movie, or even especially never said like review this movie positively and we'll pay you to post it. What happens? I guess I will say this too quickly. If you see someone review a movie positively and it says like paid review, sometimes what happens is you post reviews of movies you like, you go out and see him and you post a movie review by him. You're like, I love this movie. I fuck with it a ton.
And they email you.
Monkey Paw Productions might say like, we love your review of him because it's so positive. We want to boost this video and we'll pay you this little money if we can boost it. So that's like a common thing too.
So that's happened to be a few times. It's a difficult one because I mean, you guys say I've never been paid for a review. And also if I've been paid for something, you'll see because it'll say paid partnership or app. Because if not, I'm literally defying the law. That's crazy.
Which some people do, but never.
Some people do, but yeah, for me anyway. But yeah, it was amazing. Like it was one of those screenings where everyone kind of came out and they were like, "What the fuck was that?" Like in the best possible way. It was obviously my first five of the year, which I wasn't expecting. Like we all said it when we predicted it. I think it's a new PTA. We're all excited, but I don't think any of us. I mean, obviously I've only one seen it, but I don't think I was like, this is going to be one of my favorites if his ever. Do you know what I mean? Which it is. So yeah, can't wait for you guys to see it. I enjoyed it so much. And
George, you see it tomorrow, right?
Are you seeing it tomorrow? No, Monday.
Monday with
tomorrow,
a day.
Monday.
That is tomorrow. Yeah. Jesus. It's so funny. I won't review it, but it's so funny. Like I was howling.
I can't wait to see it and talk about
it.
Excited.
Are you seeing it in IMAX, George?
Yeah.
We saw it in this division, which is interesting. But it was cool. What have I watched this week? I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to London Film Festival in 2 weeks. So looking forward to that. Rewatch this week. Not a crazy amount. On my birthday, me and Anna did a Man double feature. So we watched Heat. Her first watch, really liked it. And we also have Manhunter as well. She liked that too. I liked it even more on rewatch. I rewatched the Batman as well. Because it's the Batman. I like the Batman. It's like easily my favorite Batman film now, which is cool. Really good. I watched Batman Returns, as I said. Really like that. I watched Highest to Lowest as well, because I didn't speak about it last week. I thought it was fine. I wasn't like, I'm probably like in the middle of you two. Wait, George, I don't actually know. Did you rate it? That was
I ended up rating like a 2.5, I think.
Oh, you did rate it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm like a 3, so I'm a bit higher than you, but not quite as high. So I thought it was fine. And then also, I'm watching The Leftovers, which is like kind of a big thing at the moment. I'm going for The Leftovers. It's made me cry about 12 times. I've not watched like a episode in the last few days because I've been away, but
let's wait till the end of season 2 and then season 3.
I've been texting Kevin K Meeks about it because he's like rewatching it in the moment because he hasn't seen it since release. And he texted me last night and he's like, "Oh, season 2 ended so good." I'm like, "Bro, don't you fucking dare say anything right now. That will kill you." But he's loving it as well. So yeah, that's kind of taking a bulk of my time. But other than that, nothing really much else. That's kind of it for me.
Hell yeah. Nothing from me really. I went to a successful press screening. Sorry to flesh
shout
out.
Shout out.
For Tron Ares.
Oh shit! Did you post a review? I did not see.
Yeah, I just logged it. It's embargoed. Okay. I logged it.
When's the embargo drop on that?
I have to check the email. I think October 6th. So it's a while until because the movie doesn't.
That's an early screening, actually.
Yeah, it's crazy early. Which I mean, I guess it shows just like how confident they are in this movie. As I stare at the camera.
Oh God! Fuck Tron. All my homies hate Tron.
Early screenings for me are fun though, because like I'm not press. I'm not a critic. I shouldn't be there. Everyone's got their notebooks out and their pens out. I'm pulling out a bag of edibles and a fucking fat family-sized thing of mini M&Ms, and I'm going crazy. It was a whole. The only other press screen I've ever been to was Long Legs, and I don't know if you guys remember, but I had a terrible experience.
Yes, we remember.
So since Long Legs, I've probably been invited to like 5 or 6 press screenings, and I always say no. Like, I'm not going to press screenings. But this one, I went to this one because it was in IMAX, which is crazy. Usually press screenings are on like small shitty screens.
Yeah.
But this one was in IMAX, so I was like, let me try. And it ended up being a cool press screening because it was me and like 7 other people in a full IMAX theater, just like 7 people.
That's kind
7
of
people. And I knew Liam Crowley from Screen Rant. So like he and I were chatting. He and I were.
Is he the really
that's
tall?
The really tall kid I always.
Who's really funny when he gets pictures of you in the gym because he's
it's horrifying, man. It makes me look so tiny. And then Matt Neglia walked in, and Liam and Matt know each other, so like I got roped into like a three-way conversation.
As opposed to a normal 3-way.
Yeah, that was a weird way of putting it. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was in IMAX. So like my biggest problem with the first Long Leg screening that I went to is that the room was so like closed and claustrophobic and stuffy, and everyone was scribbling away. So like I could barely hear the movie because I'm just listening to people fucking scrape out a fucking piece of paper. But that wasn't the case with this screening because there was like 7 people in a full. I cannot stress to you enough. 7 people in a full IMAX screening with 2 people at the door just standing there in suits, just bodyguarding us. I was scared at one. I was frightened. I took out my mini M&Ms, and this security guard like kind of peeked over to see what I was doing, and I'm high as hell, so I thought he's gonna come and like assault me and like drag me out of the theater for eating. It was a wild experience.
Why was in New York City? I don't understand why there's so little people to see a Tron screening that early.
That's what I was asking Liam too, because Liam obviously goes to press screenings. Liam, I think, only watches movies at press screening because he's always interviewing cast and crew. So like he's not a critic. He watches them for like interview
junkets and stuff. Yeah.
For junkets, for that kind of stuff. And I'm like, dude, like why? Like I'd imagine there are more than 7 critics in New York. Why is this theater not full right now? And he's like, honestly, I don't know. That's just how it is. Like some press screenings I go to are packed. Some are incredibly empty. He's like, it's not like an exclusivity thing. It's just like maybe they invited a bunch of people that just couldn't come, or maybe they just didn't care to invite more than like 7 people. But yeah, I don't know how I got there. But I was. It's so funny. It's so funny. These people are like so upright, notepad, pen. I'm sitting there like hoodie on, like just shoveling M&Ms into my mouth. It's a fun experience. But Tron comes out.
The bouncers were about to freaking tackle you for trying to record, and you should have just been like,
"Yeah,
but buddy, movie's ass. I'm not recording shit. Calm down."
Yeah, literally, like, I'm not recording this one. Don't worry. But yeah, Matt Neglia, we talked some film festival movies because I was like kind of running through like my schedule. He has seen After the Hunt, he's seen Anemone, he has seen.
Well, I'm assuming he went to Venice, right?
I don't know where he saw all these, but he saw
maybe like, TIFF, actually, it'd be TIFF.
Yeah, maybe TIFF. But he saw a couple of the ones on my schedule. He was laughing throughout the movie. He was having a blast. You know, he was having a good time.
It's like the kiss of death for the film right there.
Yeah, he was really.
But it's embargoed, of course, so we don't know if it's good or not.
No, we don't know. I'm not allowed to say a word about this movie.
Could be amazing. Who knows?
And then on Tuesday, Victoria and I went to the Netflix premiere of Black Rabbit, which is the new show with Jude Law and Jason Bateman. Cool event. The event itself was cool. You know, the after party was awesome. It was cool. We were like, sometimes that we get invited to these events, I'm always so curious, like how they do like the seating, because it's not random seats. It's like you assign your seat on your ticket, and we were like 3rd row, like right in front of Jude and Jason Bateman. And I'm like looking at Victoria. I'm like, how, like, why are we like in prime seating?
Because
So
other
it was
people don't
cool.
consider that prime seating, George.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, you know what?
It's so true.
Other people would
Yeah.
say, "Man, they hate us putting us in the third row."
Yeah, that's true.
That is true. I saw row C on my ticket, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. But yeah, you're so right. That's probably bad seating for people.
all connected.
I swear every event you go to has after parties.
Yeah, most of them have after
That's
parties.
something we don't
I mean,
have. Like, it's quite rare. There's like after parties
really?
here. But like, and maybe only for like the big premieres after parties for like screenings. There's never
Yeah.
after parties really.
Yeah, I mean, this was like a full, like, this wasn't just like a screening. It was like a full, like, premiere. Like, there was a carpet. The cast and crew was there. They showed us 2 episodes of the show. And then, yeah, the after party was at like this cool, like, I don't even know if it was like a restaurant, but we were in like the basement, which was like the VIP lounge of the restaurant, and they like closed it off for the after party. They had like like a fake tattoo stand where people were getting like rabbit tattoos. They had like cocktails that were like themed towards the movie or the show. It was interesting, this after party, because like typically you go to like the Roses that I went to like 3 or 4 weeks ago. All of the talent was like kind of like in their own section, and like just walk in like, and that's how it is at most after parties, where like the talent or the cast and the crew are like roped off, like no one can just walk up to them. Jude Law and Jason Bateman, they were just walking around. Like,
did you meet them?
They were no, I didn't meet them. They were like they were swamped with people.
Yeah.
But like at one point, Victoria and I like brushed shoulders with Jude Law as we were like walking in a different direction. Like, it was crazy. Usually they're always roped off, but that just wasn't the case. Dominic Sessa was there. Is
that no idea. Holdovers guy?
Yeah. He's not on the show. I have no idea why he was there. He's a very odd person. He's just a weird guy.
To be fair, looking at him, I could have gathered as much.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, that was my week. I'm home. I'm off Long Island, or I'm off Manhattan for the weekend. I'm home on Long Island. It's been a while. I mean, I've left Manhattan for like last Saturday. I left Manhattan just to go golfing, but like I needed to come home. Also, my mom, after my wedding, went to Greece for 3 weeks, so I haven't seen her since.
Oh, they're there for 3 weeks.
Yeah, my sisters were there for 2 weeks, and then my mom stayed an extra week because my grandma came for the last week, and now my grandma is staying until like December 16.
Yeah, they're really nice.
They went on a longer honeymoon from your wedding than you did.
Yeah, dead ass. Yeah, that's real shit. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Have I been up to anything else? Not really. No. What have I been watching? A lot of PTA prep. Obviously, what's today's date? Today is
first day of fall. Shout out, best season of the year.
Yeah, best season of the year, 100%. So yeah, a lot of PTA, or not a lot of PTA. I do, like Tyler said, I want to rewatch a lot of PTA because it's been a while. So I watched Hard 8. Hard 8 actually was my first watch. That's the only PTA I had never seen. Crazy. Like, this is probably Hard 8 is probably this man's worst film, and it's still like a very, very good movie. Like a really solid.
It's my second least favorite, I think.
Yeah, it's just it's cool. It's cool. It's cool Vegas vibes. There are a lot of ideas in this movie that you could see he expands on in like Boogie Nights in particular. It's very cool. It's a very cool directorial outing.
That movie feels so Tarantino, which is funny because they both kind of came up around the same time. But when I was watching them, like, this is, I mean, part of it may be Samuel Jackson, but this, especially the ending, like when things start going south and there's a lot of cleanup that has to be done, I'm like, this feels so Tarantino. It's a cool movie.
Yeah, big time.
I think Paul Thomas Anderson was like 25 when he directed that.
25 when he directed.
Was he that young? I thought he was younger.
Well, the movie premiered when he was 26, so I don't know. He might have been 24.
He was born in 1970, yeah. So, 24, 25.
Yeah, crazy. Wow, I mean, Boogie Nights even wilder, to be fair.
Boogie Nights at 27. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched Boogie Nights, and that rewatch absolutely hit. That was like that was a 5-star before the movie even got to the halfway point. I was like, this is so electric. This is so crazy. I loved Boogie Nights. Punch Drunk Love I also really liked. also I've always liked these movies, but it's just been such a long time since I've like really sat down and revisited. Like I genuinely think the last PTA movie I have seen was when Licorice Pizza came out in theaters.
No, we reviewed There Will Be Blood. I'm pretty sure you rewatched it then, didn't you?
I don't know if I rewatched it, but I might have talked about it. Yeah, I definitely don't know if I rewatched it.
Yeah.
I also watched a couple of PTA's shorts, Anima, really cool. It's with Thom Yorke. It's basically just a 15-minute music video. Just a really cool cut together bit of music. And then what I didn't know. So actually, before I get into it, I also watched Cigarettes and Coffee. It's from 1993. I think this was his first short film.
Yeah.
Really cool, like interconnected movie about like a couple different people and how all of their lives kind of pass through this single $20 bill. Really cool. It's on YouTube for free. It's like really grainy. I don't know if that's like the intent, the style, or if it's just because it's from like 93 and it's just like a lost short film, but it's available. It's great. But what I was going to say is I never realized Paul Thomas Anderson like made short films with outtakes from his movies. So like Blossoms and Blood. Yeah, Blossoms and Blood was the only one I watched, but that's like outtakes from Punch Drunk Love. He also has like what else does he have? He's got he's got the Dirk Diggler story, which is like a mockumentary about
one, yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy? After I watched Boogie Nights, I was doing a lot of like research and I was watching a lot of interviews. Did you know Leonardo DiCaprio was supposed to play that?
I do, yeah.
That's crazy because that's
and I kind of wish he would have, to be honest.
Yeah, that's pre-Titanic DiCaprio too. Like that's fucking crazy. Like that would have been insane. Like debut.
Yeah, just from a quick Google, it sounds like Titanic was the reason that he didn't do this film. That even though Titanic came out quite a bit later. I mean, obviously Titanic's the type of movie that takes a long time to make.
And Wahlberg, like, ironically hates the fact he did that film, which is funny because it's like
his best film.
Yeah, it's his best film by a mile.
By a mile.
I mean, his best performed film. I don't know if it's the best film.
Best performance by like a billion miles. Yeah.
Departed and Boogie Nights. Billion miles.
Yeah. You could debate Departed and Boogie Nights are like, around the same ballpark easily. Like films, but performance-wise, Wahlberg's best by a million.
Yeah. But yeah, he like prays to God that he like erases that movie.
Erases it. Yeah.
He should pray to God to erase some other things from his past and not starring in.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I have so much on my watch list for like Film Fest prep that I want to get around to, and I slowly started that this week. So I watched Bait, which is Mark Jenkins' film.
Is that the like English folk horror one?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a horror movie. It's just it's more.
I thought it was a folk horror.
I think the genre technically is horror, but yeah, I agree. I've seen it. Because what was the movie he made after that? Because I watched that in preparation for a movie that he made.
I haven't seen either, but he made Ennis Man. Yeah, that's folk horror, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I like Bait.
I haven't seen either of them.
Yeah, I thought. Listen, I like Bait. Just not for me. And I knew it like from the first like 5 minutes of the movie. I was like, this is not for me. I shit you not. I think I spent 45 minutes on Friday trying to find David Bowie Is Dead to watch, the short film that Mark Jenkins made about like the period in London when David Bowie died. It's nowhere to be found. Apparently he released it on Vimeo in like 2018 and it was available for like 7 days and then he took it down. And
yeah, it's like 400 logs. That's crazy.
Unbelievable. Like I spent such a long time trying to find this thing. But I watched
this
because I'm the Rose of Nevada. I'm seeing at
that's the George McKay, Colin Turner one.
Yeah. I'm seeing that at Film Festival, so I wanted to watch at least like one Mark Jenkins movie. And then same thing with I'm seeing Bijan's Resurrection at the Film Festival. I've only started watching his short film, so I watched A Short Story and then The Poet and the Singer. I'm watching. There are 2 feature-length films I want to tick off before the festival: Long Day's Journey into Night, and Kaylee Blues. I'm excited. I really liked his short films. They were really like, especially a short story in particular. It's about this cat that goes on a journey to find what means most in the world, and it's just really really beautifully shot. And then there are I know you guys. I've never seen The Worst Person in the World, so I'd like to watch a Joaquin Trier before I watch Sentimental Value. Same thing with Oslo, August 31st. I'd like to watch. I'm seeing Fences, Claire Denis' new film. I've never seen a Claire Denis film except High Life, so I want to watch Beau Travail.
I think it
Beau
is.
Travail. Yeah, it
Yeah.
probably is.
Her new film is getting crazy reviews, like negative, because like
Fences.
Denis released like a lot of her films are very divisive. This one's like divisive would be like a compliment. It sounds like from what I'm seeing. From
Yeah.
early reactions.
I'm trying my hardest to like not look at like early reviews because I've told you I think the first year of the film fest I think I fell into like film fest brain where I just like assumed every film I watched because it was premiering at a film fest like, oh, this has to be good, and even if I don't think it's good, it has to be good. It got selected for the New York Film Festival. Obviously, it's good. And then year 2 last year is when I think I was like way more like true to like my actual thoughts on these films. I wasn't just like film fest braining my way through these 2 weeks.
What's it called? Sorry, this film, the Claire Denis one.
Fences. It's on Letterboxd as something else. It's on Letterboxd as
like the French name.
Le Cri de Garde. But it is just type The Fence. Oh, it's The Fence, not Fences. That's my bad.
I didn't know she had this many films. I've only seen like 3.
Yeah, I got to watch more. But my film fest schedule is pretty much finalized. I'm trying to think like if the only other one that I would like to add potentially is the closing night film, which is Bradley Cooper's directed film. Is This Thing On? But like I'm not itching to watch that one. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. That's what I've been doing. Tron Ares, of course. I mentioned that.
I saw you added the Deliver Me From Nowhere Springsteen movie late.
Yeah.
Why was that late? Because you couldn't get into the screening, or was it a movie that was like on the fence if you even wanted to see it, or what?
No, so the pass I get is the opening night film, so After the Hunt, and then 10 additional films. So when scheduling opens, I go in and I select my 10 films, the 10 time slots I want to watch movies. Springsteen I think it's the Spotlight Gala film of the festival this year, which means it's not included in my pass. So if I wanted to see Springsteen, I would have had to pay extra, which it was like I think it was like $75 extra. And I was like, I want to see this movie.
For just the one?
Yeah, but I'm seeing it. It's a Q&A with Jeremy and Jeremy, both Jeremys. So I was like, I'm seeing this movie. Like, there's no way I'm not going to be there. And then that's the case with Springsteen. And then the same thing will be the case with Bradley Cooper's movie. If I want to see, I don't know if I'm like itching, and I don't know if I'm going to justify $75 on a.
With your pass, are you guaranteed to get that many films?
Yeah, it's.
You pay like a singular amount.
And yep. It's 11 films. It's the opening night film plus 10 films. You're not guaranteed screenings.
Okay.
So like if for one film, like before the day of ticket selections, I put together my schedule. I'm like, I want to see this movie here, this movie here. If I want to see, I had Blue Moon September 29, 5:30 p.m. There was I got all of the screenings I wanted to get, thankfully. Like it just worked out where I was like in the queue early and I was able to select my films quickly. But like I know some people didn't get some screenings they wanted because by the time they got out of the queue, it was sold out. So they had to go for another screen. Yeah. So it's like it's very all over the place. But like I luckily got everything I wanted to get.
Do they just show the screening when like they show it, or do they have the premiere and then it's like throughout the days for the next week you can see it whenever?
There's usually like the gala, the open gala, and there's like at least like
there's always like the premiere night, which is the Q&A, which thankfully I got for all of my screenings. And then after that, there's usually like 2 or 3 additional screenings.
Yeah.
So every movie gets screened like 3 or 4 times, I think.
It's just like the
But-
galas are the ones that
the
like
opening
you can
night
go
is the
for
one.
them, but they're fucking, especially in London, they're really difficult to get.
Yeah,
Like I basically we pay per priority now, so we can become like a member, so we get like priority a week early. We can get tickets.
yeah.
And a few years ago, that was the thing which actually helped, and now it feels like everyone's just doing that. So it's like the same, you know. I was in the queue the other day, and there was like 7,700 ahead of me, and that's meant to be priority. But I still managed to get everything I wanted, bar like 2 or 3 though. So
Dude, I shit you not. So ticketing opens. So I was able to. I've had my pass since like the beginning of August or the middle of August. I forget when it goes on sale. But then tickets for my pass went on sale September 11 at 12 p.m. I was in that queue from 9 a.m. Right? I swear to God, I had to have been the first person on that queue because I was in and out with my tickets in 5 minutes and I got everything I wanted. And not only did I get everything I wanted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my 10 screenings, we'll call it 10. Well, 6 of my 11 screenings, I am row A. I'm front row.
Really?
That's fucking crazy. That's never happened. I've never been closer than like row like R in the past.
Yeah, I didn't get mine. Are like I didn't get bad seats, but they're not ideal.
Yeah, I legitimately had to have been first in this queue. Like I had my tickets in my email purchased and solid before some people were even off the queue.
Is yours a randomly inputted queue, as in like you
Yes.
wait and then it just
Yes.
randomly generates a line or
I
whatever?
think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's the same as ours, but I was like 7,500 or some shit.
Yeah, it was. But like when I went for the Springsteen tickets, this was September 18. The Springsteen tickets came on sale.
Yeah.
Same thing. I was in the queue at 9 a.m. Then 12 o'clock hits. The queue opens. I didn't get my Springsteen ticket until like 4 p.m. Like I was just waiting. Yeah.
Wow.
Like I didn't get off that queue for 4 hours.
Jesus.
So for like my actual like 11 tickets, I must have been the first person off that queue. It was fucking
Yeah, that's
crazy.
wild.
But all right, that's it on me. That's what I've been watching. Let's move into him. Latest horror film. Seth, you did
Directed
not watch
by
it.
Jordan Peele. No, it's not even out here for like another 2 weeks. So you let me know when
Okay.
you're done.
All right, cool. We'll swing you a text when we're done. But him, directed by Justin Tipping. Greatness demands sacrifice. After suffering a potentially career-ending brain trauma, Cameron Cade receives a lifeline when his hero, legendary 8-time champion quarterback and cultural megastar, I'm such an idiot, Isaiah White, offers to train Cam at Isaiah's isolated compound that he shares with his celebrity influencer wife. But as Cam's training accelerates, Isaiah's charisma begins to curdle into something darker. Tyler, we'll start with you. The film stars Tariq Withers, Marlon Wayans, Julia Fox. Like I said, directed by Justin Tipping, written by Jack Ackers, Skip Bronke, Justin Tipping. 3 writers on an hour-and-a-half movie, man. We'll start with you, Tyler. I go for it.
Yeah, so I'll start with the 2 you just mentioned, Tyreek Withers and Marlon Wayans. I actually did really like their performances. Marlon Wayans is always great. I was gonna say I hadn't seen Tariq Withers in anything, but I also think that's not super surprising. I think he's like a relative newcomer.
You watched? I know you did last summer. No,
not the new one. I prepped everything. I watched everyone to the new one and
just didn't watch.
Tapped out by then. The franchise lost me, man. But no, I really like them both in this movie. Really fun performances from both of them. And the film itself, Justin Tipping, he rides a fine line that he doesn't ride this fine line well, but he rides a fine line between style that I was really digging and like incoherent horror slop. And I feel like more times than not, he dove too much in the horror slop side of things. But there was stuff I really dug. Unfortunately, a lot of that was like in the trailers. Like I think some of like the infrared X-ray little edits were pretty cool. I thought some of the cinematography, some of the upside down shots, like there was some cool stuff in there, but he really loved what he was doing a little too much. And he just kept pushing the needle and it just became a little incoherent. In the words of Gooch, he saw this movie before me and I saw his rating. It was low. And this is like I saw his rating before like all the critic, because they didn't release critic reviews until like 2 days before this came out. So it was a mystery for a long time. Like, what's the vibe of this movie? No one really knew until like 2 days before it came out. It was when all the reviews started dumping on it. So I saw his low review. I was like, shit. Like me, like guy who works at Barstool Sports. I feel like this is a movie like if he doesn't love it, who's going to love this movie? And in the words of him, he said, this is the type of movie that someone who unironically wears a shooting sleeve to a pickup basketball game would love. And I think that's a good way of encapsulating it. But you spoke about it in the preamble. 3 writers for a movie that's 90 minutes tops dooms it from the start. And that was the weakest part of this movie by far, is the fact that this writing felt so incoherent, so all over the place. The third act of this movie is so batshit insane in the most uncomplimentary way.
Correct.
And when it ends, you're just like, that's really it. That's what we're building to. And it's really disappointing because I thought the trailers were pretty fun for this movie. And I think the idea of like CTE and the traumatic injuries of football, and they mention it in the movie too. They talk about like how like football is a modern gladiatorial game. People put their life and bodies on the line for fame and fortune. I think the premise is so cool, but they don't even like basically the trailer features that, helmet to helmet hit a ton, shows like the X-ray little body thing. And so I thought the movie, and I think everyone thought the movie was going to be like, oh, this football player, he's got it all, gets a traumatic brain injury, and then it like derails his life, and it starts to become a horror movie about like the CTEs attacking his brain. I think it's such a fascinating idea for a movie. That's just not what this movie's about. It's much more about like the cult-like fanaticism of fans of football teams, as well as like the people within the boys club of like, the legends of the game and the owners and kind of their dominance over all the players and what you have to do to be great. And man, it just sucks. Cause like, obviously the whole Jordan Peele thing is a reason people are saying like, oh, like, some people are like, oh, it's like a bait and switch, but like, I think it was a bait and switch in the fact that like, I think the trailer really like sold me a movie that I thought I was getting that just wasn't. Like, I really thought they were going to explore the CTE angle, but we'll talk about it when we get into spoilers, like what causes like him to have the psychological horror stuff, like isn't even that hit from the trailer, which
funny.
So funny. But I really think this film is written by 3 people. And I truly think none of those writers have ever played football, watched football, or like been in the same room as football being played. Cause there's just such jokes. Like, I know like you obviously have problems with challengers as like someone who's a tennis fan. And like, I'm not even saying that as like a football fan. Like that's the reason, because I think the football looks bad, which it does, but I more mean just like I don't know, man, what I'm trying to say is one thing is, so in football all the time, and these are things that, trust me, I did not lower my score because of. These are just funny things I'm noting.
Yeah.
All the time in college football, there's, for one reason or another, a player might skip the combine. They'll say, I have 3 years of tape. I don't need to go run a 40-yard dash, bench press for an hour for you to say if you should draft or not. This is very common, whether it's they're nursing an injury or whether it's just that they don't want to. Happens all the time, very common. In this movie, Tyreek Withers is supposed to be like the greatest college football quarterback of all time, the clear consensus #1 pick, a home run swing of a hit, but he skips the combine because he's still recovering from an injury. And then he's like undrafted and he has to like go to this camp and like do all the crazy shit you see in the trailer as like a last ditch effort to make the league. And I'm like, dude, he might go from like the first overall pick to like the second, but probably not. He'd still be the first. Like people, just because he skips the combine, he goes from being like, dude, this is the greatest college athlete we've ever seen in our life to being, yeah, dude, no one wants you now. I'm like, what are we doing here? And then the funny thing too is at the very beginning of the movie when they show Marlon Wayans, the tape of him when he wins like his first championship and his leg is snapped. It makes no sense because if you watch football, they win by 1, so they get the extra point. So how is his leg getting snapped on a play he wouldn't even be in on where they kick an extra point to win the game? And secondly, like if you just think logically, like if you win on the last play and that last play isn't a touchdown because they kick the extra point, if you look at the final score, it's 35-34 to win the game. Like what would have caused that injury on a play that was a successful play where they get a touchdown where he wasn't in the end zone? So clearly he like threw it to someone else. So like, unless someone just straight up like assaults him, like just comes after, like I have no clue how that injury happens. But unfortunately the opening scene was so brutal. Like the acting was so bad too, that I was like, oh, like immediately I was like, we're set up for failure here. And Julia Fox, I'm not trying to be mean, but I mean, if she shows up in a movie, I'm usually going to be like, it's going to take a turn for the worse. It did. And the big thing, again, maybe I know some people are liking it. I don't really know anyone loving this. I basically see a lot of people shitting on it, or they say, I like it and it's not that bad. I don't see anyone saying like, this is amazing. But a lot of it is incoherent slop. screenwriting is horrible. They get married to this idea of him being at this camp for 7 days. So they're like, day 1, and then this is the theme of the day, like fun. Day 2,
Dude,
something else. They got. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Sorry. I was an hour and 35-minute movie with 7 title cards.
They got way too obsessed with that idea because clearly, like that when they were early writing the movie, they're like, we want themes for each day, have 7 days, and then they just never left that because like day 6, I think it was literally like 90 seconds. I'm like, what's the point of splitting these into? It was like day 6, you get like a 90-second scene. That's like day 7. I'm like, yeah, you guys should have ditched this idea of this whole like themes for each day because
it's also
so
like
stupid.
this movie is not like how stupid does Justin Tipping think the audience is that like we can't piece together like the theme like that to me is like opportunity for good conversation. Like, oh, what do you think the theme of each day is like as he's moving along in this camp? But like he's like, nope, I'm going to tell you right now before we even get to that theme. It's like. Oh, it's so unbelievably dumb. Like it's that day 1 fun. I'm like, no way is there going to be a title card. I'm like, no shot. For every day in an hour and 35-minute movie, we're going to have 7 title cards. I almost lost my mind.
I think the best way to sum up this movie is what you see in the very first scene where like the injury happens and his dad like grabs his head. He's like, don't look away. Like you have to see what it takes to be great. And that's the perfect like synonym for the movie or like symbol for the movie. Cause that is what Justin Tipping does the whole movie. Like you're watching the movie and he just says, no, look, like, do you get it? Like, this is what you're supposed to be getting from this scene I'm showing you right now. And yeah, there's a little more I want to talk about spoilers, but ultimately the biggest thing is this is just an incoherent film. The writing is a complete mess. A way different movie than I was expecting and one that I didn't like as much as what I was expecting. And then when it gets to the final act, it's so stupid that it just feels like the type of writing that would be meant for a streaming original movie that gets dumped and no one remembers it. Like this does not seem like a movie that Monkey Paw Productions be putting in theaters because I don't know their whole horror bag and what they have, but I know I at least think of them higher than I do Blumhouse. And this feels like this would be like more of a Blumhouse, something up their alley, which is obviously, if you watch this podcast, is derogatory.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm with you on everything. This was. I think what I'm most upset about is that this is just not the movie that was like entirely like advertised. Like, like you said, like this should have been a really cool, potentially like body horror film about like CTE and like these long-term effects of like playing this incredibly aggressive sport. And like it's just it's like the entire movie is just Justin Tipping throwing ideas at us and never like expanding on any of them. Like it feels like he wants to be fucking like he's trying too hard to be Jordan Peele. He's trying too hard to be who's the filmmaker I'm thinking of right now?
Not give me much to help you with.
Yeah, sorry. Harmony Korine. He's trying to be like Harmony Korine. Yeah, like he's just there's so much being thrown at us and it's all so fucking stupid sometimes. The title cards are really like they're bothering me so much more than they should. Like they're really pissing me off. That fact that there are 7 title cards in an hour and 35 minutes. And I think what sucks is once you move past the opening scene where Cade is watching, or Cameron is watching Isaiah's like legs snap in half, and his dad is like, "No, look at the screen." Like I'm laughing my ass off. But once you like between that scene and day 1 fun, I was like genuinely like I was like, okay, we're kind of like heading down something that I enjoy. Like maybe this is like an opposite challengers for me where like I don't love football as much as you, so like I wasn't really caring about like the nuances about like what happens like when he gets this brain injury, he falls down the draft ladder.
I didn't really care either, to be fair, and partially because like Challengers actually has tennis in it. This movie, like the trailer, you make it think there's like a football movie. There's actually barely any football.
There's like very little football. There's very little football. But yeah, like I was intrigued. I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna go train with Isaiah, like get his draft thing up, and then when that happens, he's like, you know, it's gonna be like this horror movie about like his like sacrifice and his brain injury getting worse. So like there was like a good like this had to have been like an 8 to 10 minute period of the movie between the first scene and day one, where I was like, yeah, this is like, I'm into it. I'm intrigued. I like this guy. I like these actors. They're doing like good stuff. I liked like their first introduction where he kind of like walks into this like really like minimalist type house, and Isaiah's just sitting there like carving some shit. And then like you get to like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and it just like it continues to unfold in a way that felt so unbelievably unsatisfying. Like the horror doesn't work for me necessarily. There were very few moments in this movie where I was like, oh wow, like that was cool, or oh wow, that's a good bit of horror. Even like the first, like it was like maybe day 1 or day 2 where like the guy's taking footballs to the face every time Cameron misses a catch. Like I was like, all right, that's cool. Let's like expand on that and get like that's brutal. Like we got to get more brutal if that's like the first thing you're showing us in this movie. And like it just never happens. And it's just like it's just an hour and 35 minutes of like nothing is like my overall like experience with this movie. Like it's just like I didn't leave thinking about anything. I didn't leave, questioning any motives, any stakes. I didn't leave this theater like in awe of the horror I was watching, or feeling like amped up from like the football I was watching. There was just nothing in this movie that like would elicit any emotion out of me. Like I left this theater just so stale. And I think that's what like really bothers me, is because this trailer is like, I was very excited, like genuinely, like I was really excited for this movie. I was like, oh, cool. Like we're getting a cool sports psychology movie. If you look at this decade as a whole, I think we've had like one genuinely good sports psychology movie in The Novice. And outside of that, it's just been like very lackluster. So I was like, this is cool. Like we can get this cool football movie about this kid who's trying to prove himself, and what this sport is going to demand from him, sacrificially, physically and emotionally. And it's just like not what we got. What we ended up with was like some weird conversations, and that didn't go anywhere. We ended up with like some like very corny drops of line dialogue. Like I wasn't convinced Isaiah White was the greatest of all time. Like there was just no part of me I thought like, yeah, this is the GOAT. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, I left this theater just like so like annoyed, like not like disappointed, not like underwhelmed. Like I left this theater annoyed, which I think is the worst way to leave a movie. Because like you said, like there are like every so often there are like interesting shots of like like the sauna when the woman is crawling under the bench. There are like cool shots here and there. There's some very stylized shots here and there that like I show that like there is a slightest bit of potential here, but like none of it comes together at all. It's all just so stupid at the end of the day. And I was like, that's like my biggest gripe, is like I left this theater and I was like, that was a dumb hour and 35 minutes of my life. Let's get to spoilers, because like that's where I kind of want to like talk about like a couple. I know you got the spoiler tag on already, but like now we're like truly getting into spoilers. So if you haven't seen him and then you care about spoilers, just skip ahead. Or leave the episode and come back when you've watched the movie. But yeah, like day 1 is fun. Exactly like what you would expect.
Well, here, let's quick talk about like how he even gets to the camp. So basically, like he's training at his old high school, preparing for the combine to get drafted. He's done with college, going to go to the NFL. And then he's kind of playing football at his high school stadium alone late at night, and he gets attacked. It might even be a shot you see in the trailers. Basically, this dude in a costume comes up behind him with like a meat cleaver, smacks him in the head, gives him a traumatic brain injury. He has to skip out of the combine, like we kind of mentioned, or I mentioned earlier. Like he falls down the draft boards as a result. He has staples in his head. He has traumatic brain injury that I can't remember what the doctor said. If he said like you should go like a year without playing or something, he said like to not re-injure it.
He said for a long time.
Basically, yeah, he's not supposed to be doing anything contact or playing football for a long time, but obviously he wants to get back in gear to be in the NFL as combines happening, drafts happening, and the start of the season would be like 5 months away. And I think the doctor says like shouldn't play for like a year or so. He's dealing with headaches, paranoia, dizziness, blurry vision, like not fully all there, clearly fucked up from this dude attacking him with a meat cleaver to the head. And this is after we already talked about it too. Like the movie starts with him as a kid, sees the beginning of Isaiah, who becomes the GOAT as a kid grows up. And his dad is basically really hard on him, says like, you have to do anything to be great, make sacrifices. So then he leads his whole life, great high school athlete, great college athlete, and then going to the draft. And because he falls on the draft board so much, no team wants him. And then basically the greatest team in the league gives him a call, and it's Isaiah, who's the quarterback, is the greatest of all time. It kind of says, come to my compound, train with me for a week. We want to see if you have what it takes to be on our team. And then we get to there. And before we get to day one, they drive up to the facility, and the house looks super sick in the middle of the desert. There's these fans that camp outside this dude's house because he's basically, I think he has like 2 or 3 more championships than Tom Brady would even. So there's fans that literally treat this dude as a god and worship everything he does. And that's when Isaiah pulls up for day one.
Yeah. So, okay. I mean, this isn't really a spoiler. This is more just talking about like the obsessed fans. Like, what was that little like side plot? Because like you see it when he's driving up to the house initially, and like they're like banging on the window. One woman spits on the window, and then the next time you see it is when they're in the sauna together, and Isaiah kills the woman. And I'm like, that was it. That's the only 2 instances where you see like the obsessed fans, or you see her like creeping outside his window at one point too. Yeah. And like they built it up like it was like that was going to be like a real like problem for Cameron throughout this movie, and like it never ended up being any sort of problem for him. Like it was like so unbelievably crazy. And then one thing that pisses me off in movies, and this isn't just the movie Him, when you're about to hit someone and their eyes are closed and they're fucking sleeping, why would you shout? Why would you wake them up? I never understand that in movies. It's so stupid, and it's like it's such a film decision to make, because like obviously you can't have this character kill Cameron immediately. Like that's not a possibility. So you need to have like a way for him to wake up and fight back, but like not how it would happen. That shit pisses me off every time it happens in a movie. It's just a small thing to bother me, but it bothers me. But yeah, that whole like getting to the house day one, it's like I said, there are like bits and pieces where I was like, okay, this could be something cool, because like there's cool shots of the house, there's cool shots of the football field. I was liking the dynamic. I was liking the dynamic between Tyreek Withers and Marlon Wayans. Can't take Marlon Wayans like all too seriously, honestly. Like it is tough to like I was looking at his face and I'm like, dude, like you're in scary movies. Like you're in White Chicks. Like I can't take you seriously. And like it is like a funny performance, like it is like he's not like, I don't even know like what to describe it as, but like he's not like a very serious performer. Like this is a comical performance. Like, he's like screaming on the football field. This dude's taking footballs to the face, and he's like blowing kisses to Cameron in like a very funny way. Like it is a funny performance, but like I couldn't take him seriously. Like this movie did not do a good job at like selling me that like this is the GOAT. Like this is the greatest to ever do it, which I think is like, maybe that's the point, because like when you get to the ending, you realize like he didn't like, I guess, earn his GOAT status. He kind of like bought like a supernatural ritual. I honestly don't know how this movie ends. I'm not convinced I fully understand the ending.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But like maybe that was the point, maybe that was the point. Maybe he wasn't supposed to be like acting like the GOAT, because he's like, he knows he's truly not the GOAT. But I don't know. I was a little. This movie just spirals out of control.
Yeah, the middle of this movie just gets completely lost in this repetitive cycle of during the day, incoherent training montages, to then every night go in an ice bath, fall asleep, boom, jump scare, scary.
Yep.
repeat
And that was
next
it.
day training, then go to a pressure chamber for recovery at night, fall asleep, boom, horror jump scare. And then it's like go to I don't know, a sauna. Like it was the same thing every day. That's why like the whole days and title cards was so stupid, because every day was so freaking similar, just like some random training BS followed by jump scares and scary stuff happening at night. But then there's like this whole stuff about like Isaiah's like right hand man, that he was like just such a weird character. I didn't really fully get either. Like I don't know what he was just such an inconsistent character in the movie. And
Yeah.
the whole training, like you see it in the trailer of like the whole, like, you know, the balls to the face, like you're talking about, and how
Right.
hard they train. But I don't even get, like, I guess by the end, we're supposed to just like buy that like Isaiah just like does that training for show, because like we find out like the only reason he's like gets to be the legend he is because like this cult of these owners kind of chose him and taken the blood of the previous goats. It's like, bro, if you got like the secret sauce in your veins, why are you doing this to yourself?
Like,
And
why?
maybe it's just like a fetish to him to put other people through that pain. But yeah, like the fan lines was completely half baked in terms of just, you have these fanatics who are outside the facility who don't want Cade to come to the team. They don't want anyone. They want Isaiah to play until he's 150 years old, until he's dead in the ground, because he's a goat, and they worship him like a god. And kind of just tackling fans' relationships with sports and sports players and athletes, and how they can become so obsessed with them and treat them and hold them to a higher standard, and then how athletes themselves can hold themselves to like a higher godlike status because they're so insanely rich, have the nicest houses, have the most beautiful women, have anything they could want in the world, and how that affects their psyche as well. But I feel like what the trailer showed us was, like, to me, like the trailer beat for beat is football action, that helmet to helmet hit, then the horror starts. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is going to be like CTE psychological horror based on this hit that he has in the trailer. But obviously, as we talked about, the actual thing that causes like all the psychological horror is the attack at the beginning of the movie. And then you get to the back third of the movie when Marlon Wayans kind of reveals to him, like, this is the secret sauce, like the previous GOAT. We have all of his blood here. I inject this blood into my bloodstream, which you kind of get hinted at earlier when you see Marlon Wayans like getting all his blood taken out of him. And Cade's like, yo, what the fuck is that? So basically he takes the blood of the previous GOAT because Marlon Wayans is like deemed worthy by this council of like owners of the league and owners of that like San Antonio Saviors team, I think is what the football team is in the movie, to basically kind of choose him based on a criteria saying like, you're going to be the GOAT. We're going to give you this blood sauce. We're going to give you the keys to the kingdom. And now they're trying to do the same thing with Cade. I guess if he does like his hazing ritual and gets through the other side, and then like, I guess there can only be one GOAT at a time. Because then they're like, all of a sudden, after showing them all this, like this blood thing, he's like, all right, there's the tunnel. Whoever walks out is the GOAT. Only one of us can walk out. I'm like, what the fuck? And then they start fighting to the death. I'm like, bro, this movie,
dude.
That's when the movie was already going off the rails. That's when it completely leaves the rails. When he just like reveals the whole everything this movie's about, and then he's just like, all right, time to fight to the death. Who's going to be the GOAT?
Bro, let me tell you something. There are moments in my life where I have like a sore shoulder, and that puts me out for days. This man's arm got bent in half, and he bites off like 7 people by the end of I was like, dude, what are we doing? This is unbelievable nonsense. Like, this movie just turned so batshit ridiculous so fast, because like you said, a majority of this movie is just wake up, training, some weird shit happens at night, and then you get like, you go.
What the fuck was the whole him partying with his wife, and it's just all of a sudden randomly for 10 minutes they just start dancing with a bunch of naked women just for the result to be exactly what you expect, where Isaiah's like, did you sleep with my wife? I'm like,
did you fuck my wife?
This is an hour and a half movie and you just spend 10 minutes of it with like bikini clad women just dancing. I'm like, bro, what is going on right now?
Dude, it was like that I don't even know what the end goal there was, but like that whole literally 10% of this movie is Isaiah putting a gun in Cameron's mouth saying, yo, did you fuck my wife?
Which is like exactly that. Like the whole time they're doing the dance naked scene, I'm like, please amount to something more than the classic, like Isaiah saying, did you sleep with my wife?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. So that was all for exactly what you'd expect like the result of this would be. But yeah, the ending just so batshit. They fight to the deaths.
Yeah, my God. what was the funniest part? The funniest part was when they're having that conversation about whether or not Cam fucked Isaiah's wife. Cam is like, I have a girlfriend. And Isaiah's like, and what? Do you feel bad? He's like, killers shouldn't feel bad about that shit. Like, but he's basically like gaslighting Cameron into like being like, oh shit, maybe I should have fucked Isaiah's wife. Like maybe I'm a bad person for not sleeping with his wife.
God.
Like, dude, oh my God. 10 minutes. I was like, we're still on this seat. He's still sitting there in a chair in his fucking robe, pointing a gun at this dude. Oh, like, what the fuck? And then, yeah, dude, that also, what's crazy is I don't know if I didn't know this movie was this short, right? Like, I didn't know it was an hour and a half. So, like, it really kind of, like, comes out of nowhere, I guess, where, like, Cam is, like, walking around, like, the halls, and then he, like, finds Isaiah, and they get to, like, that fight to the death scene. And in my head, I'm like, wait a sec, like, how did we just jump to this moment? Like, this feels like an end of movie kind of moment. And it was the end of the movie, but like I was so like stunned that like this was like the final like 15 minutes of the movie once he gets to Isaiah. And then yeah, I was so underwhelmed, annoyed at like the entire like the transition, like learning that this movie or finding out that this movie is like this like supernatural, or like I don't even know if I would call cult,
yeah,
supernatural, like there can only be one goat. Like the whole movie, Isaiah is like feeding Cam his blood, and I'm like, this went from like weird ritualistic nonsense to weird supernatural cult bullshit really fast. And it was like, it was so annoying. And I think what annoyed me also about the last scene is like when he's like refusing to sign the papers, the executives or the owners or whatever you want to call them, they take off their masks and they're like, what the fuck? Like they're like kind of like joking around like annoyingly. And I'm like, that removed like any like stakes to this sequence or like any like urgency where it's like, this is getting a little weird. And then Cam turns into John Wick for like 5 minutes and just goes fucking crazy. But yeah, the whole movie, like, it's so weird, man. This whole movie was just like, and like, I don't mind like experimental filmmaking. Like, obviously it's not my preferred viewing experience, you know, like something like a Megalopolis maybe, where like if you like the movie for its experimental style filmmaking, or like, you know, even more Coppola, you could throw out like Twixt, like fair. But like this is like, I don't even know if I would call this experimental. I think this is just a product of Justin Tipping having way too many influences and not knowing which one to run with. It's a very, very weird. I don't even want to call this a movie. I want to just call it a compilation of scenes.
I completely agree. Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if Justin Tipping cared to make a cohesive movie. He just filmed a bunch of random scenes and threw them in a random order.
Because I think this movie, when you go like day one of the concept of this movie, when they're writing ideas on the whiteboard, I think that the movie they write on the whiteboard fucks. I think, you know, owners are like a cult, and all these players are just pawns in their games. Those are the real ones controlling everything. They're the ones with all the power. Fans have parasocial relationships with athletes and think they're so much more involved in their life than they actually are. The greatest of all time, in every sport, has to make insane sacrifices in order to be great. Like football is this gladiatorial games, modern day, where these people are putting their life and bodies on the line to be great, and what that means and what that takes, and how much you have to sacrifice, and how to grapple with the fame and fortune. Every idea they throw on that whiteboard, I think, is sick and would make a great movie. But this movie just completely abandoned, or I mean, it still tackles those ideas, but like the most dumb ways you'd ever expect. Like the whole fan angle was super dumb. The whole cult with the owners thing was so half-baked, and the movie ends with him killing all them basically. And I think basically that I can't remember what like the final shot of the movie is, but I think it basically is what that one poster is, where it's like him just doing the T cross and
he doesn't do that. He doesn't do it in the movie.
Oh yeah, okay. So there you go.
That shit, dude. I was waiting for it the whole movie. I was like, I can't wait for him to do that. I can't. It's gonna hit so hard, and he never fucking does it.
Yeah, but I was surprised at least when because obviously that poster came out long for the movie. I was like, oh, this is like the very last shot of the movie. That's kind of crazy that this is like you're putting the last shot in the movie. But yeah, this movie's frustrating. The movie ends like that's really it. So much of the mystery and wildness that this movie sets up resolves itself exactly as you would expect it to in the most cookie cutter way. And the performances still are fun. I still think they have a lot of fun. I really like Tyreek Withers. I think I would like to see him in more stuff. But beyond the performances, and again, some of the style is cool, but I think he gets way too obsessed with it and gets lost in it. And it just results in a movie that's kind of just a headache to watch. And it ends, and it's just disappointing because it could have been so much better. And it's just it's a mess. I told basically a ton of my friends who like are the type who see, 2 movies a year kind of crowd. And obviously they're fans of football. So this has been heavily marketed in every football game. And I do think the trailers are great. I basically texted them immediately after the movie. I'm like, trust me, like save your money. Like if you really want to see it, wait for it on streaming in a month or two. Like if you're going to the theater twice a year, do not spend a ticket on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I would not recommend this movie. Sorry. Anything else you want to say about him? I feel like we could wrap up there. That was a good little convo about this dumpster fire of a movie.
The only other thing is I just looked at the cast, and I don't remember the character of Murph. He's only been in one movie, but the actor's name, and I'm sure he's like an artist, and this is his artist name. I can't remember who he plays in the movie, but Guapdad 4000 is a member of the cast, and it's like the 5th billed person in this movie. So that kind of sums up it for you. But Julia Fox is just weird.
I don't know why. Like there was no need for like the social media presence, like there was just no need for her character. If anything, I think her character was like a little bit of a waste because like I feel like this movie probably built up Isaiah to be like the GOAT in a way where like he would abandon all social media. Like the first thing he does with Cam is take his phone away.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, he's like an anti-social media. Like this is, if you want to be the GOAT, you got to make sacrifices, and that's one of them. And then like Julia Fox's character is like just completely throws that one down the drain. And it's like, it's just a weird, like, I don't know. There's too many ideas in this movie that are bad and trash. But that's him. Tyler, 1.5. I didn't rate it, but probably a 1 or a 1.5. I'll throw a rating on it soon. I just wanted to kind of let my thoughts sit before I slap the rating on this. I can't believe you didn't do the fucking T. Dude, how did we not? Hold on, sorry. How did we not talk about the Last Supper shot?
Oh my God, yeah.
My theater audibly laughed. Like literally audibly let out a ha ha. And that shot lingered for like a good 7 seconds.
They thought that shot was so sick.
Dude, oh my God.
The director Tipping loved that shot.
Yeah, Tipping was probably like, dude, this is gonna be in 10 years talked about as one of the greatest shots in horror movie history. Meanwhile, half my theater laughed, half my theater literally face palmed, and I was sitting there. I was doing both. I was sitting there just like this, laughing. Like that Last Supper shot. Let's move on before we get upset. Moving on is Tyler is going to yap a little bit about Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. So, all
right, I'll let you know when I'm done.
Yeah.
Won't be too long. All right. Peace. All right, folks, just me now. Let's talk A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. Directed by Kogonada, starring Colin Farrell, Margot Robbie, as well as Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Movie that I was really looking forward to. This is in my top 10 and most anticipated back in a TikTok I made in May. So it's been anticipated for a while. And this was another big disappointment. Like at The Long Walk, I came away disappointed. Obviously him, we just talked about, I really despise. And this one was a big letdown as well. I saw it on Monday at a press screening at Alamo South Lamar, which was a great experience. Love that theater. Never been. It's the original Alamo Draft House. Sick theater. So much movie inspiration in there. They have a whole room 237 Shining area. Awesome. But the movie itself, kind of similar to what we just talked about with him, but I won't linger on him too much. But the movie presents ideas that are really interesting, just never really follows through with them. But the biggest thing is this movie sets you in immediately with a story that is just right up my alley. Just gets me hook, line, and sinker. It starts with Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell at the wedding. You see the shots in the trailer with the umbrellas and the rain, and it's gorgeous and it's deeply saturated. And the movie looks beautiful. I do think it is a stunning film in terms of cinematography, color grading, fantastical elements. Very fun movie to look at. But they meet at this wedding, and it's kind of like love at first sight for Colin Farrell, or maybe not love, but like an admiration, obsession. Like he's like, this woman is such a mystery, because Margot Robbie in this movie exactly plays the same character to a T as Nellie Leroy. There's no difference here. Very much this like wandering, lost soul, thinks she's too good for a relationship, thinks she's too good for being held down on the exterior, but on the interior, she thinks she's not good enough for a relationship because she has such a damaged relationship with her parents and previous relationships she sabotaged. So she just puts up a wall to the outside world and says she doesn't want anything. And Colin Farrell's kind of very intrigued by this. They both live in the same city, they find out. And Colin Farrell's like, let's try and make something happen here. But the wedding ends. They go to this rental car, or no, before that, they go to a rental car agency. I can't remember the exact order. The rental car agency to get a rental car, I believe. Yeah, to go to the wedding. So they both go to the rental car agency at the beginning of the movie. That's where you meet Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who's nothing more than just like a minor side character in this movie of being the rental car agent. Hilarious dialogue. Again, that had me just bought fully in. Like the whole rental car back and forth is so funny. The GPS kind of takes over and becomes like this dictating God saying exactly what you have to do. So they get the rental car. Very funny scene. I'm locked in. Wedding looks gorgeous. Umbrellas. I'm locked in. This mystery romance. Initially, I'm like, yeah, Nellie Leroy 2.0. Unfortunate. Very unoriginal character. Still think Margot Robbie is a conversation for another day about her star power outside of movies that are franchises, because for a long time I like to push it back against it. It just keeps starting to kind of get more and more true at this point. She doesn't have big IP behind her. Doesn't seem like people are going out to see Margot Robbie. And I still think she's a great actress. I think she's good in this. But again, this is Nellie Leroy, the exact same character. She just brings that one out of the closet, and it's the same exact mannerisms, everything. But I'm in. I'm in for the first 20 minutes. Then they both get in their car, go separate ways, leaving the wedding, and they get asked to go on this big, bold, beautiful journey, or if they want to. And I'll quickly wrap up my thoughts on the movie so we can just get into spoilers. We can talk about the rest of the movie. But to me, this movie presents a lot of fun ideas, and it starts off with the bang where it completely locks me in. As the movie goes on, it becomes completely formulaic, completely eye-roll inducing with all the romance. And romance should be in quotes, because you never, ever should buy into this romance. It's the most unbelievable romance ever, even though it's trying to set you up to be like a perfect romance with a storybook ending. Completely unbelievable. I do not see the chemistry between these two. I think it sticks out like a sore thumb. I think Colin Farrell is genius in this movie. He gives such a great tender performance. And I think that, again, the colors, cinematography, I liked a lot of what I saw. But the writing is dreadful in this movie. This is Kogonada not directing a movie that's written by himself, which is rare for him, as a new thing. And I think he should not do it again, because I think he has such a strong command of the visual language, and he needs to have his own material to be working off for that. But in summary, first 20 minutes locks me in. The rest of the movie just devolves into being a complete mess. And they try and make this a romance story when it's really not. And for lack of a better phrase, this is just therapy, the movie. I think they go on a whiteboard and say, okay, what are the big traumas people have in their life? Family, past relationships, childhood trauma, traumatic events in high school. Checks them all off. And I should say, what are the traumas that privileged white folk have in their life? Because that's kind of what this movie is, which is a common criticism I see for About Time, where it's like, this is just a movie about people that are super rich and privileged getting this opportunity to time travel and revisit their life that no one else gets. This is the same thing. Like, I made a joke in my Letterboxd review where it's like, Irish lead actor, Colin Farrell, Donald Gleason, Margot Robbie starring, she's in both About Time and this, time travel to grapple with their previous life in a romance film. This has a lot of the beats of About Time. It ends up being a very different movie, and I love About Time. And someone commented on my review saying, do you think because you love About Time that your rating for this gets dropped? And I clarified, which is hard to say without seeing the movie, but I made the joke because, Irish lead actor, Margot Robbie, time travel, that's kind of where it ends. This is a very different movie in how it deals with this time travel and teleporting through their life, which we'll get about in the spoilers in a second. But cool idea for a movie. None of the ideas work. It's a very rudimentary look at mental health and the traumas people have in their life and how to deal with it. The bow is put too neatly on this box. And by the end of the movie, him ends, you say, is that it? This movie ends, and you're like, piss off, man. Just stop. So 2.5 for me. Very disappointed. A lot of things I liked, a lot of things I really disliked, and we'll get into spoilers now. So skip ahead if you don't want to be spoiled for A Big Bold Beautiful Journey. But after they leave the wedding, the GPS asks them, do you want to go on a big, bold, beautiful journey together? Or not together, just a big, bold, beautiful journey. Say yes or no. Both of them, you learn at the wedding, are just kind of lost souls at this point, really not sure where they wanted to go in their life. So they both agree to go on it. Tells them to go to this burger station at this gas station. They go there, and Colin Farrell, they're in separate cars, but Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie see each other across the restaurant. They're like, oh shit, you from the wedding? What are you doing here? And the rental-car agency shuts down Margot Robbie's car to basically say you have to get in Colin Farrell's car. So it's very much like a guiding force to try and get them together to go on this journey and experience together. They go and drive to where the GPS takes them. They find this door in the middle of the woods, and they walk through the door, and it transports them back in time to this lighthouse. Later transports Colin Farrell back in time to high school. You go back in time to when Margot Robbie's mom died. Back in time to a traumatic experience from Colin Farrell in high school. And it's like these portals into different memories of both of their lives that they go through and step through together to kind of see on the outside. Colin Farrell's like this cool dude, too cool to dance, standing outside smoking at a wedding. Whereas Margot Robbie has all these walls up. So you start to peel back the layers of the onion of why they are the way that they are. And it's just, again, it's just therapy, the movie. You go in and it's like, wow, that's tough. I'm sorry you had to deal with it. Let's go to the next memory. Oh, that's another tough thing that you have to deal with. I get why you're the way you are now. And just keeps going through it. You get like a 10-minute musical number in the middle of it, which is like a funny scene that also kind of lost me at the same time, with Colin Farrell reenacting his high school play where he tells a woman at his high school, or I guess 17-year-old, not a woman, that he loves her. And that's like a traumatic experience from him from high school, where she in public was basically like, no, I'm with someone else, like piss off. And he gets completely heartbroken over it. And it really impacts who he is and makes him put guards up in relationships in the future. But he goes back and he's immediately transported into his brain, even though he's still a, 45-year-old, 50-year-old, I don't know how Colin Farrell is, man body. He's still going to go and tell the 17-year-old he loves her. Kind of a weird scene, but breaks into a musical song and dance, odd one. But they just continue from there, going through these doors, experiencing their past memories and learning more about these characters as we go through it. But the thing is, it's supposed to tell you that as they experience these memories of each other's past together, it's making them grow closer. But I don't get that in the slightest. I never get that at all. By the end of the movie, they end up together. For what? There's no chemistry between them other than the fact that they love hamburgers or cheeseburgers. And they even mention that in the movie kind of breaks their own rules when they're in the burger stand, where he's like, oh, wow, you love cheeseburgers? She's like, yeah, I come here every day. Like, we know based on how the movie goes, the only reason they are getting burgers at that place is because the GPS tells them to. Maybe Margot Robbie went there on her free will and it tells Colin Farrell to go there. I find that hard to believe, because if their whole idea is to make them for sure get set up in this partnership together, I would think that Margot Robbie also had to say, I wanted a big, bold, beautiful journey, and it tells her to go there, because otherwise she could just drive straight home and there'd be no chance of them meeting. But that's like the only thing they have in common the whole movie is the 5-minute Burger King Whopper ad that they have, which is some of the most egregious product placement that seems to follow Margot Robbie around, because Barbie had egregious product placement for Chevy. This one's Burger King ad is brutal. It is hard to look at. It drags for way too long. They're name dropping things left and right. Like, I love Whoppers. I love Whoppers with cheese. I love double Whoppers. Whoppers. Wow, Burger King, Whoppers. So bad. But that's the only thing they have in common the whole movie, is that they both love cheeseburgers, which we found out was just set up for them by this rental car agency and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. But they don't grow closer through these memories. I don't get it, why they're trying to sell us this romance. I feel like if they wanted to have it be a time travel movie where they tackle the grief and trauma of their past lives and build from that and move on as adults, that's cool. But they go through this whole journey that has some rough tumbles. They have a car crash. They go back and tackle the kind of most traumatic moments of their life. For Colin Farrell, is that high school girl rejection, where he goes back as his older self, as the father of him as a kid, and kind of sees it from the fatherhood perspective. Margot Robbie goes back and has one last moment with their mom. It's very touching to kind of get advice for her future self on what she should be to fall in love. So they kind of tie the bows on that there to kind of wrap up their traumas and learn from it and grow from it and finally put that in the past and not have to linger on it so much. And then they go back home to their separate, this is after they go back to these separate homes where they tackle these final memories. And then they return the rental cars. Another funny scene with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who I think is really funny in this for the 5 minutes she's in it. And then Margot Robbie goes to Colin Farrell's doorstep and they make out and they're together now. And that's the thing. Like, this movie sells you so hard on it having to be a romance. And the fact that the romance is one of the biggest failures of a romance film. When you have Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie, how do you make a romance fail? Kogonada, I guess I shouldn't say Kogonada, the writers of this movie, because that is the biggest, weakest part. Colin Farrell's great. Margot Robbie's fine. A little reheated nachos with Nellie Leroy, though. And it looks stunning. The score is also not that great either, which I was expecting better from Joe Hisaishi. But the weakest part here, and the part that made me really hate this movie, was the writing. And beyond that, this movie is like 2 hours long, maybe in a hair over it. Really drags. The first 20 minutes by, you get locked in. Once they start exploring these doors, it's cool. But like I mentioned before, they do like a 10-minute musical number at the high school that drags. The whole back third of this movie completely drags. And once you know what the movie's trying to do with this whole like therapy checkbox and easy resolutions, it becomes just kind of an eyesore and a headache to get through. And then when the movie ultimately ends with them being in a couple, you're just like, dude, piss off. There's no shot. Like, this is so unbelievable. You never buy into the romance. And when you're watching a romance movie, if you can't buy into the romance, everything else kind of falls apart no matter how beautiful it looks. So my initial reaction was a 3-star. And then like the next morning, after sitting on it a little more, dropped it to 2.5. Because I just really didn't like this thing. I was super bored by it. And it was just kind of a baffling screenplay. And there's cool ideas here, but it's kind of a failure on all fronts. I want to see Kogonada. I've only seen After Yang from him. I really want to see Columbus. But I really love the visual style of After Yang, even though I didn't love the story. And I viscerally remember while I was watching the movie, the first 20 minutes I loved so much that I was like, I need to go home and watch After Yang again. I think I'm going to love this movie a lot more because I love how this movie looks visually. I think I'm wrong about After Yang. I think I can also give that like a 3-star or something. So I need to go revisit it, and I'm going to jump right into Columbus too, because Kogonada is the man. He's got the juice. And then by the time the movie ended, I was like, I don't have to revisit After Yang. Maybe it's better than I'm giving it credit for, to be fair, but I have no interest in revisiting it. And Columbus was like number 1 on my watch list. Before going to see this movie, I'm like, I need to watch Columbus, which I still hear fantastic things about. I still want to watch it. But when this ended, I'm like, yeah, let's jump into the PTA prep. I think I need a pause break from Kogonada here. So 2.5 is where I'm going to give it. Been really disappointed with new releases lately, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the review. So I'm going to text the guys, tell them to come back. And Big Bold Beautiful Journey is at 2.5 right now. So I will hide the spoilers and we will wait for the fellas to come back. We got George first, and Seth should be here any second before we jump into film news and trailers.
I didn't care to have this movie spoiled for me, so I kept one headphone in so I knew when we were done.
How was my review?
I heard you say piss off like 4 times.
Yeah, Colin Farrell's really good at it. Movie looks pretty, but other than that, not so much. So I guess you can jump into some Emmy stuff while we wait for Seth to come back.
Yeah. So we'll do Emmys before we get into news and trailers.
Embarrassing award show.
Horrifying award show, dude. What did you text us one day where it was like, if you have the opportunity to get nominated like 35 times, this is a fake award show or something?
Well, and the whole bullshit of like, I remember like 2 weeks ago, they're like, these movies are already winning Emmy, or shows are already winning Emmys. I'm like, bro, save it for at least the day of. Because the Oscars did that bullshit a couple years ago where they did like pre-show awards, but at least it's like the day of, like, which is still bullshit. But like the fact that they're giving Emmys out like 2 weeks before, and I didn't put this in the rundown when it's filling out last night. But before we get into like the awards wins, that I didn't watch a second of the Emmys, so I don't know how it came across live. But the counter dropping down for every second a speech goes over for donating to charity is so beyond tone deaf. Like, did you see that? Were you following?
I didn't watch the show, but I saw it.
So like the host set it up to say like every second you go over this, we're going to take away $10,000 from this lump sum of like 100,000 or whatever we're going to give to charity. So tone deaf. And like, obviously at the end, they were like, oh, it was just a joke. We're actually donating even more than we said we were to donate to charity, which obviously we knew it would be insane if they actually were going to take away money they were going to give to charity. Yeah. But even as a joke, that's such a tone deaf, stupid, embarrassing bit to have, to be like, oh, look, you're subtracting all this money for going over. It's like, dude, fuck you. Like, these people, I get it. Sometimes I love to hear these people talk. They deserve it because they win an award. I get it. Sometimes these speeches go on way too long, but to be like, oh, we're subtracting money from charity. Yeah. And then like the big gotcha at the end to be like, we actually are donating this all, but we're not donating 100,000, donating like 120,000. I'm like, dude, you're a room right now of like 1,000 millionaires. And you're telling me this whole Emmy is donating
multi-millionaires,
$100,000 to charity? Like, it was so tone deaf, so embarrassing. Really stupid move by the Emmys. And I get it. Like, I guess maybe it played better for people watching it, but from the outside looking in, just watching it on Twitter, I'm like, this
I don't
is
even
insane.
think it played better for people watching.
Okay, good.
Because I was
so
tweeting
stupid
all night that they were annoyed with this bit.
Yeah, so dumb.
The bit was horrible, but I mean, listen, it's a joke of an award show. At this point, if you were in a TV show and you don't have an Emmy, kill yourself. Sorry. We'll start with we'll go through some notable wins, but let's just start with some summary counts. The studio absolutely cleaned up with 13 awards, and then Adolescence picked up 9, and The Penguin picked up 9, and those were the top 3 most awarded shows this year. Severance snagged 8. The 50th SNL special snagged 8. Trio of shows snagged 5 awards. Andor, The Pit, and The Traitors. Arcane and Love, Death, and Robots popped off with 4. Love seeing that. The Boys 3, Bridgerton 3, and Hacks 3. And those were kind of the big winners of the night. So some notable wins. Tramel Tillman, supporting actor in a drama series. He's the first Black man to win the Emmy for supporting actor. Yeah, crazy. But he is awesome. He is incredible in Severance. He is like, I know a lot of people are going to toss Adam Scott out immediately as the best actor in that show. But I think Tramel Tillman's very I don't even know what to call that performance, but it's so fun, it's so funny, but it's so like diabolical and awesome. Britt Lauer also won from Severance. It's her first Emmy for her performance in Severance. Awesome.
Fun Easter egg with the little note.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Little like let me out on her speech card. I wonder if anything was even on the other side of that speech card, or if it was genuinely just for the let me out. But that was a really cool little Easter egg.
Those are bold though when you do bits like that, because that's when if you don't win and you go home at night and you're like emptying your pockets before bed and you're like, this is awkward, man. I had this whole bit planned for if I won the award. Like, that's a tough one. I'd have to burn that immediately. I'm like, I never want to see this again. This is too embarrassing right now. Yeah,
that would or you could just play it off as a joke and throw it on like your Insta story and be like, oh, this is what I would have done, but that would have been embarrassing. Speaking of Adam Scott, he did not win for best lead actor in a drama series. He lost to Noah Weil for The Pit. I never watched The Pit. Victoria watched The Pit. I watched a couple episodes of The Pit. I'm not trying to be mean right now. I watched like a handful of episodes with Victoria because she does like The Pit. Not once while I was watching this show did I think this was ever a serious Emmy contender. Like, I never once thought, yeah, this is going to take away that Emmy from Adam Scott. Like, so
I hear people say they love it. It's the type of show that never in a million years will I ever press play on it. I just have negative interest. But
it's just it's the very overdone mockumentary type of show, and it's like, I don't care for medical dramas. I don't care for like the mockumentary type of shows now past like The Office and Parks and Rec and like maybe Abbott Elementary. So like as I was watching the show, I was like, it's fine little medical drama. And then as like Emmy night was unfolding, I just keep seeing tweets like, oh, this Pit actress won an award. This Pit won an award. And I was like, what the fuck is this show winning awards? And then I was seeing so many tweets. People were pissed off that Noah Weil won this Emmy over Adam Scott, because people were like, we're really giving Noah Weil like a career Emmy over Adam Scott, who like had a generational season of television in Severance. So I mean,
Severance and the Pit fans were so much fighting on Twitter. It was so annoying.
Yeah, but there's a big I think
it's TV fans, man, all children.
Yeah. There's so many unbelievably annoying TV show fan bases. It's so crazy. The Pit is atop that list. Severance, fucking Succession. There are so many.
See all the like Severance tweets where it was like, because it's not an easily digestible show. The Emmy isn't giving it awards. It's like, come on,
that's just so stupid. It's just dumb. It's just dumb.
But I have negative interest in The Pit, even though people say they love it. If I'm going to watch a medical drama, I'm watching that 911 show, that electric trailer with the meteor falling. They're like, stand back, take cover. I'm like, it's so funny when people do, like, obviously, like, played right into their hands of all like the trailer reactions and how like viral it went. And people are like, who actually watches the show? I'm like, that's exactly what the show's set up to be. Like that is doing exactly what they're wanting you to. And that teaser is still like the funniest fucking thing ever. Every time it plays when I'm watching Fox, in terms of like football and college football is always on, like whatever TV channel it's on. So there's always ads for it. I'm like, dude, this is the funniest teaser I've ever seen. But 911 greater than The Pit confirmed.
Based on the teaser trailer alone. Seth Rogen, he picked up three Emmys that night with the studio for best lead actor in a comedy series, and then writing and directing for the studio. The studio also broke the record for the most wins in a comedy show's first season with 6 wins, including best comedy series at the Emmys. So just really very, very successful show. Did you guys watch the studio?
I didn't watch an episode. No,
I watched like the first I watched like the first. I mean, listen, I watched the first like 3 or 4 episodes, and I wasn't like necessarily blown away. But I got to rewatch it.
It's a very like Hollywood show though, so you got to know like awards bodies, like the executives probably got maybe more awards than it deserves. I haven't seen it, I can't comment, but it's very much a show people within Hollywood are gonna eat up and love because it's very like inside baseball. So makes sense.
I mean, I'm not going to talk too heavily on it because I only watched I think like 3 or 4 episodes, but 12 awards is fucking crazy. I mean, good for the show. Jean Smart won her 4th Emmy in a row for her comedy performance in Hacks. Fake ass award show.
I was gonna say, let me see. I need to see who she's up against. I've never seen
if you're four-peating an Emmy for comedy performance,
right? Like I need to see who she going up against, because
it's like, what are we doing, man? What are we like?
What was it for? Lead actress in a comedy series?
Yeah, lead actress in a comedy series for Hacks.
Okay, so she went up against Uzo Aduba for The Residents. Haven't seen that show. Don't know that actress. Then Kristen Bell for Nobody Wants This. Don't know that show. Know the actress. Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary, which is kind of crazy. I feel like Abbott Elementary like cleans up Golden Globes. Usually. The fact that Jean Smart can get a four-peat against an Abbott Elementary show, and then Ayo Debris for The Bears. So like, kind of crazy when you have like Quinta Brunson and Ayo Debris to be like, let's give it to Jean Smart for the 4th time in a row for the same show. That's crazy.
What a fake.
Hey, maybe she's really good. Maybe she's really good.
I would have heard.
I would have heard anything. I would have heard
one.
No, we're not really in that world, though. To be fair,
that is true.
We're on Twitter,
TV.
Yeah, but this is a different world. This TV side was a different world.
I guess. Adolescence absolutely cleaned up. Love seeing that. Won the Emmy for best directing in a limited series. Writing in a limited series. Owen Cooper became the youngest Emmy-winning male actor of all time.
First role of
first dude. Also, like, shout out Owen Cooper, man. Like, he walked up to that stage, unbelievable confidence, gave such like a really awesome speech, a really confident speech. Just like very grateful speech. Like that kid needs. I hope he has a future. Like genuinely, I hope he has a future.
Isn't he already cast in something like pretty big?
Yeah, he's in Hamlet, isn't he?
Hamlet. Is he in Hamlet with?
He's in Wuthering Heights.
Oh, sorry, Wuthering Heights. Yeah, that's not Hamlet. Doesn't matter.
Which that movie looks very like R-rated, so I'm guessing he has a minor role, seeing as he is a minor. So yeah. Hopefully, he gets other good stuff.
And then Stephen Graham also won the Emmy for Best Actor in a limited series. So just awesome.
I think.
Tyler, did you watch Adolescence? You did, right?
Yeah, we did the episode on it.
Yep,
we did.
You were gone that week. It was me, Seth.
I was gone that week. Yeah.
Jack Knightley.
Jack came on.
Yes.
Right.
I
mean, I did a video on this thing. It's just like with Stephen Graham. It's like we know, like the Emmys and Oscars, they don't mean anything, but in terms of like the international recognition, I guess having that on a name it helps when it comes to securing further projects and directors.
And Stephen Graham is just fucking like I know he has so many unbelievable performances, but like genuinely in Adolescence could be top 5 of his, which is crazy to say because he has such an unbelievable catalog. And then my favorite win of the night, Kristen Milioti won the Emmy for Best Lead Actress in the Limited Series. Love that. Love her. She just seemed like she was just so happy to be up there winning. Like I watched the video for Speech after she won. And she's just like, I love acting. And she's like, it's so awesome. Like it's cool. It's cool. There's a very short list of actors and actresses that have won major awards for comic book shows or comic book movies. Obviously, Heath Ledger's Joker, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Now you have Kristen Milioti in Watchmen. I believe I could be wrong. I think Yahya Abdul-Mateen II won for Watchmen. And maybe Regina King also won for Watchmen. I could be wrong. And then Colin Farrell, I believe, won.
No, because they made a joke. Yeah, they made a joke when he lost about it, being like he's going to stop showing up to award shows at this point because everyone's always confident he's going to get a win, and then he doesn't get them.
But yeah, the list of like major awards given to comic book acting performances is, I think it's like 5 or 6. So Kristen Milioti joins like a pretty insane rank right now. I'm missing something. Someone else won. Wait. We're talking Emmys and Oscars. We're not talking.
Okay, so Elizabeth Olsen won Best Actress at the Critics' Choice Awards.
Oh, cool. I mean, I'm talking like major awards, like Emmy.
Well, we can't talk Emmys if we're talking major awards.
Well,
I'm kidding.
It is, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
But no, shout out to Kristen Milioti though. Great speech, very fun. I saw also when she got backstage, she like tripped and like dropped her trophy.
Fell.
Seems like it's okay, but she was so excited to win that award. So good to see.
Yeah,
the woman in what was her name? Erin Doherty won for Adolescence as well.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did. Yeah, good comms. Cool. She did. She's also fantastic. But yeah, that's the Emmys. I'm not missing any like big awards, right? Who cares?
I don't think so.
Latest trailers. Got a couple of big trailers. New Springsteen trailer, Deliver Me From Nowhere. I'm getting more and more excited for this movie with every single trailer I watch. There is, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but there is like a bit of hesitation because Scott Cooper is directing, and the only other, he did the Black Mass movie with Johnny Depp. He directed The Pale Blue Eye from a couple years ago with Christian Bale. He did that horror movie. Seth, did you ever watch that horror movie Antlers?
I did. Yeah, I really hated it.
Yeah, that's literally it's a horror movie I started and stopped. I didn't even finish.
This is the guy directed the Springsteen movie.
Yeah,
he did Out of the Furnace. Have you seen that? Bale.
He also directed Crazy Heart. So he directed Jeff Bridges to an Oscar. But yeah, that's the only thing that's like stopping me from being like unbelievably excited.
Are you a Springsteen guy, just in general?
I am. Yeah, I am.
Okay. Yeah, that'll make a difference. I'm not a big Springsteen guy, so I don't have that like kind of initial worry.
Yeah, I'm a big Springsteen guy. Nebraska, I wouldn't say is like my favorite of his albums, but I think it's really cool. Like that's a very interesting period in Springsteen's life. But yeah, I'm still very excited. But we got a first trailer for The Housemaid, starring Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried. The film follows a young woman who becomes a housemaid for a couple, but soon learns the family's secrets are far more dangerous than her own. Did you guys watch this trailer? I didn't.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I really like Amanda Seyfried, and Sydney Sweeney is obviously in the news for all the wrong reasons, but I still think she has acting chops when she's in something that actually merits it. But I'm excited for this. Riley read the book for this a while ago, so she's fired up to see the movie finally. So we'll definitely go see it together.
Director does not film me with confidence, I must say.
What are they director?
I mean, he did Bridesmaids, which is actually quite funny. But outside of that, we're talking like Spy with Melissa McCarthy, The Heat, that really bad Ghostbusters reboot. like Netflix originals, A Simple Favor, which I
This is
haven't
a
seen.
crazy filmography.
Yeah, it's not.
Mhm.
It's not.
Wait, is The Housemaid a comedy?
No, it's not. That's what I was. It doesn't have it under the genres, and Letterboxd would add that to a genre if it added like a snippet
Thriller
of comedy.
mystery. Interesting. He's going from entirely comedies mostly to fucking. Okay, now I'm less excited. New trailer for Now You See Me, Now You Don't has been released. I'm excited, man. This trailer looks banging.
I haven't
like
seen
it.
any of these films. So I have
Real
no
Seth,
idea.
man. I'm telling you
Don't
right
say I
now,
would
Seth,
like them. I would.
I think both of the movies would be the crispiest, like 3 stars from you. Like I don't
Really?
think you'll love them, but I don't think you'll hate them. But
I gave it a 2 and a 1.5.
Oh, boo. The first one is so fun. The second one is a little stupid, but the first one is so much fun, man.
To me, the Now You See Me movies are, to me, personally, I think they're bad, but each of them has like 2 scenes that just fuck. And those scenes are sick. And they go God mode for 5 minutes. The rest of the movie is awful.
I think
But
I see
this
those
movie-
scenes on Twitter all the time. Anyways, I've seen them.
Yeah.
I
But
love
I mean,
that.
I'll see the movie because they're the type of movies that a lot of franchises fall into for me, where it's like kind of
Yeah.
hate every one, still gonna see every new one, and that's where
Yeah.
this one falls. And Dominic Sessa is in it, which quote George Carmi 2025, Dominic Sessa, weird dude. So fired up.
All right, don't quote me on that. We got a new trailer for Anemone, a movie that Tyler C. Whitmore
Tyler
hasn't
hasn't
seen
seen.
yet.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie.
Crazy.
Has not seen Anemone.
How have you not seen this film? That's wild.
Still have no fucking idea what it's about. 2 trailers in.
I have no idea what it's about. I'm really excited for it though. Whenever
I'm very excited. I will say, in the words of Matt Neglia, I don't know how. He basically said any debut filmmaker could make their Brooklyn rom-com very easily, but at least Ronan Day-Lewis took a massive swing.
I think that was the coolest thing about the first trailer that released for it was the fact that everyone knew for like a year now Daniel Day-Lewis is coming back, starring in his son's film, co-writing together. So everyone's kind of like, is this real Daniel Day-Lewis return, or is it like a Nepo thing? But then
it looks like a
the trailer drops and we're like, oh, this is like a movie. Like the trailer was dark, gritty. Cinematography is crazy. I was like, this is not. I thought this was gonna be more like a little charity project for his son.
Most people that have seen this film are throwing Daniel Day-Lewis into their best actor.
Right. Yeah,
I mean, I think that just comes by proxy.
Yeah, I mean that comes with the name Daniel Day-Lewis, but like people are still like very. Did you guys see that? Dude, probably the funniest graphic I've ever seen. It was someone's prediction of the 5 best acting nominations this year at the Oscars, and it was Chalamet, Jeremy Allen White, Daniel Day-Lewis, DiCaprio, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
And that will be it. Like that.
I remember the quote tweet was like, it was like the legends, the Young Bucks, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I mean, there's no way it doesn't happen.
But I will say I did talk about that with Matt Neglia as well, and he said that Clooney in Jay Kelly is a serious Oscar contender.
Oh, I'm seeing that actually at London.
And he also said Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon is a serious Oscar contender this year.
Okay. I love awards Twitter so much. It's so funny.
Awards Twitter's funny, man.
Like literally a month ago, like when Tiff was out there, like, well, award season's over. It's between Hamnet and Sentimental Value. Like, wrap it up, folks. And then already it's like one battle after another going to win Best Picture. And I see people now throwing sinners back in the ring. So funny.
Award season on Twitter is just.
By the time this year ends, will be completely different too.
It's just a competition of like who thinks they know more about the voting bodies of these major awards shows.
I want to ask you both a question before we continue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best actor right now, go for you.
Best actor,
like our prediction, or based on what we?
No. Just your best actor right now. I'm just interested
from what I've seen.
Yes.
Damn, that's a tough one. I mean, I guess Michael B. Jordan for Sinner.
I mean, that would be my second.
What
I think.
ass year for movies, dude.
Yeah, it's been.
My lead is Leo. My supporting is Sean Penn.
Yeah. So, I haven't seen One Battle yet, so I'm sure at the end of tomorrow it'll be Leo.
Yeah, I guess Michael B for me, but I
guess
I would have thought you would have said Phoenix, Tyler, because I thought he was.
Yeah, I could say that. I'm not fired up about either of those. I'm looking at my movie list right now. I'm like, you.
Yeah, I'm not like fired up
Interesting.
about any acting performance I've seen yet this year.
Not A$AP
Sorry,
Rocky?
baby, for Eva Victor for Best Actress.
Oh,
I can
that's-
confidently say I'd give it to her right now. But
Yeah,
acting wise, man,
Tyler,
lead and supporting.
Tim Key supporting for
Yeah, but that's a
Bad
pipe
Water
dream. But Tim
Island.
Key, Tim Key would be my pick for supporting.
Really fucking good in it.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Just thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
good question. And then first trailer for Anaconda, starring Paul Rudd and Jack Black.
Looks fucking awful in every single
that's
way.
a nightmare sentence, just so everyone knows. The film follows two best friends who go to the rainforest to remake their favorite movie, Anaconda, but are put
Whose
in
favorite
danger,
film?
but are put in danger when an actual giant anaconda appears. Everyone, oh my god,
How did this get a Christmas release date in theaters?
dude!
Is it 25th?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is.
Why?
That's just so stupid.
I mean, this is just like
what
this is
happened
just-
to
it's
Jack?
just
What
ridiculous.
happened? What happened to Jack Black, man? What
I mean,
happened?
we've like it's been about 15 years now. We got to let it go.
I
Like,
know,
he is
but
just
my god!
sockified to a T.
All right, Robert Redford has passed away at the age of 89. Major rest in peace.
People weren't happy with us for not realizing who it was.
Yeah, that was such poor timing on our part, man. That's
However, I will say, like two guys commented, like someone commented, I don't know if you saw it, like you guys were responsible for the death. That's kind of crazy. And like, let's just calm it.
Also, the pictures we're working with are not the greatest.
Well, because
okay?
I
it's
haven't
like, we
seen
know who Robert Redford is.
I haven't seen any Robert Redford movies when he's older, except like the Avengers movies, but I don't remember him in those.
That's what I've seen. Okay, I've only seen 6 films with him in, to be fair, but we know who he is. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I'm only used to. I'm used to like Great Gatsby, Robert Redford, All the President's Men. I still haven't seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which obviously Sundance Film Festival is named after. But massive rest in peace. A Blind Spot. I still need to see this thing too. But All the President's Men is right now my favorite film of his. I've seen 7 of his movies overall. But Robert Redford, a pioneer in the industry, obviously started Sundance Film Festival. That's responsible for giving us PTA, responsible for giving us Quentin Tarantino, countless other icons of today and yesterday. So his impact in film and leaving a legacy is going to grow long beyond his years. So advocate, political activist, so much bigger than just being an actor himself, director as well, although his directed work, mixed bag. But Robert Redford, shout out. Icon, again, Sundance Film Festival, the legacy he leaves, everything he did for the film industry as a whole of growing it, making it thrive. Unfortunately, passing away at 89, but long, fruitful life. And, a lot of people remembering him as like one of the sexiest men to ever live. And that's one of the better ways to go out, I'd say.
Real shit.
Good looking man for sure.
89 is old, man. I can't imagine being 89. ABC has indefinitely suspended Jimmy Kimmel's talk show from airing after his comments about Charlie Kirk. Obviously, a blow-up reaction on Twitter. I think this was a blow-up reaction from ABC also. I'm not the biggest Jimmy Kimmel fan. He has said much worse. He has said much more like potentially cancelable things on show. Like I watched the video back of what he said about Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump. And even when the video ended, I was like, is that it? Like, am I missing like a big part of is there more that he said that I'm not seeing? And it turns out, no, I saw the whole thing. And it's like, my first reaction was literally like, oh, that's an excessive reaction from ABC. Like I said, I don't love Jimmy Kimmel. I don't think he's a great talk show host. But he has said way worse.
If his show doesn't come back and this is it for him, and because he's still slated to host the Oscars,
yeah.
I mean, already like right-wing conservatives like hate Hollywood, so they're not going to watch the Oscars anyways. But if they do, that he's going to be lethal in those opening remarks. But just crazy bananas, just wild news. But what I don't get is I saw I think yesterday there was like an update saying that like him and ABC are like in negotiations for how to bring back the show. I don't get how you can just like suspend the show and then like a week later, how do you bring it back? Like I feel like you already pissed off everyone by shutting it down. And like I think they should. Well, I don't think they should have canceled in the first place. But it's like how do you make that decision, suspend his show for his comments and like bring him back a week later? Like do they pretend like nothing ever happened? Like this is like the weird. Like I don't get how he can.
It's very much like. Yeah, like I don't see how you could just do like a 180. Like you
Yeah, and be
suspended
like,
the show.
just kidding.
Like,
We gave him a timeout.
yeah, like literally, that's literally what it's gonna come off at. It's gonna be like, oh, like we're gonna set the precedent that like now, I guess, like no matter what you say, it's just gonna be a slap on the wrist. Like whether we think it's warranted or not, like this is such a weird like precedent to set. It's like, is he suspended or is he not? Like it's a very like is he just like what's his opening monologue going to be in like 2 weeks if his show comes back?
Like, is
like,
he going to
be? I'm back. Like,
and it's like his employer's like, is he gonna, like, how do you get fired from your employer and then they rehire you and then like
that's what I'm saying.
You can't like shit on your employer. Like it's just a weird thing.
If my boss fired me and then a week later was like, you can come back. Actually, I'd be like, no, go fuck yourself.
Right. Like I don't know why you want it. It's a really weird situation. I don't know.
It's very odd, but I'm very curious to see like what happens, like what's the next step in this saga. Netflix is reportedly considering placing a bid to buy Warner Brothers. Yeah, that's tough to see. We're gonna have Millie Bobby Brown starring in every single big blockbuster known to man going forward. Horrifying to see.
Yeah, one battle after another Netflix original.
Yeah.
Bleak times ahead. DC Superman Man of Tomorrow and all the DC Universe Netflix originals, like wild. Like this would be awful. And like last week I joked about it when like Paramount was supposed to buy Warner Bros. I was like, at least better than Netflix. And now Netflix is like I still don't get, like I saw someone, and I don't know all the inner workings of the industry, but I saw someone like reply and be like, since when is Warner Brothers for sale? And I'm like thinking the same thing. Like I'm like, since when is like I know they grew a lot this year and they've been successful and everyone's kind of been joking like one battle after another is going to lose their streak of like $40 million box office marks on the year. But I think based on the marketing and the hype, I think it might be able to keep the streak alive. So it's like Warner Bros. Is doing well and maybe like they're just trying to capitalize on that and sell. Like I don't know what their whole liquidation looks like and what their finances look like, but I don't know, man. Just keep the brothers together. Don't split them up.
Yeah. Weird. DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence will star in Martin Scorsese's next film, What Happens at Night, for Apple.
Yeah, I believe you.
Why? You don't think
it won't happen? Because right.
How
many next fucking Scorsese projects are we gonna get?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's
is the Jesus movie not happening?
No. The Jesus movie isn't happening. The Wager isn't happening. The Frank Sinatra one isn't happening.
We haven't heard anything about The Rock Hawaii.
I thought The Rock was next. I thought that was scheduled in. I thought that was pending until this next release. Because I was like, okay, that's definitely happening because The Rock is a bit more back in there, whatever. And, I thought it was pending in this release. And I was like, oh, the next film is going to be an Apple TV film with Leo and Jennifer Lawrence. Who fucking knows anymore, man? Who knows? Like,
but this would be sick. Like Jennifer Lawrence, they just said something about Timothée Chalamet with his like $25 million contract for his next film is the most for someone of his age since Jennifer Lawrence. So Jennifer Lawrence, capital M movie star, who's kind of fallen out of stardom in the past few years. Like she's obviously been in stuff like No Hard Feelings.
She'll do like all the central roles.
Is that it? Yeah, I don't know.
Like, she's in that Lynn Ramsey film going out like in 2 months or whatever.
Oh yeah. Die My Love looks
Die My
great.
Love, yeah.
So she's kind of jumping back. So I would love to see her with Leo. That's a great pairing. And Scorsese, like how could you not be excited for that? Hopefully it happens.
Yeah, agreed. Hopefully I want to see a Scorsese Jesus movie.
Same.
I need it, but
you're getting a Nick Cage Jesus movie instead. And you're gonna like it.
Yeah, it's probably sick.
That's true.
DiCaprio has been circling a role in Heat 2. Is this not confirmed?
No, there's a weird one with this because the source isn't great. I was having a look at this the other day. I don't.
Who's the source?
Who was it who tweeted it again? I've not seen much about. The only source I got was from that Twitter account, that Real Updates, which is like the Snyder kind of who gives them their scoops and stuff. And I'm like, I haven't really seen anything else from that, so I'm not sure. Because originally, if you remember, it was meant to be the main two were meant to be it was Austin Butler and Driver, wasn't it? I think Driver was meant to be. I'm assuming Vincent Hanna would make sense. And then Butler. So you'd think if Leo's in it, he'd probably be one of the two, which is, or Leo could be like Val Kilmer. No, that doesn't work. He's too old. I don't fucking know.
But people are saying like the at the premiere of One Battle After Another, he's got like the goatee and the hairstyle reminiscent of De Niro in Heat.
Bro, he's had that goatee often. Bro.
I
That's
know.
just like Leo likes that facial hairstyle. I don't know. I don't think we're reading a little too much into this. I mean, during the whole like Inception run, like 2010s, like that was just Leo had the goatee. Like that was his thing.
Yeah. A lot of actors do the goatee, don't they? They do. Yeah. Good vibes.
Yeah. Good vibe.
I don't know if it's true, but I'd like it.
Would you?
Yeah. What do you mean, would I?
I don't know. Like, would you?
Heat 2.
Seth used to be a Leo hater. Remember?
No, I didn't. No.
I'm also saying like it's like a it's like 2025. You want a Michael Mann movie?
Oh, shut up! Fucking
like his last movie was Ferrari.
Yeah, George. I think the 19th best.
Do you really want?
Just shut up. Anyway, Tyler, I did not need to used to be a Leo hater. I used to say that he wasn't as good as everyone else thought he was. However,
you're back,
about
right? He is
2
as good
years
as
ago. I retracted that statement.
Yeah, after Killers Flower Moon. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? It wasn't. It was after I rewatched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think that was what did it for me. I think, which makes sense.
Leo's the man. Working with Michael Mann.
All right, Matt Reeves says the Batman Part 2 will begin filming in April, May of next year. He also says Sophia Falcone won't appear in the Batman Part 2. And he says we were so deep into the script by the time of the Penguin. I think she's incredible. There was some other news that had come out as well on the Batman Part 2.
It's something like it's going to go like a direction you're not expecting.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's gonna be similar vibes of like the Batman Part 1 in terms of like the crime underworld, but he said he's gonna take Bruce Wayne's character somewhere that we've never seen, which is very interesting.
He also like kind of confirmed it's staying in Elseworlds, although I'll believe it when I see it. But he kind of said it on red carpet. But the thing that like, so what's true, Matt Reeves? Because he says like they were too deep in writing the script to have Sophia Falcone from the Penguin. Like the Penguin came out like almost like at the beginning of this year, but obviously they were in development for that long before that. So like, and they just finished the script like 2 months ago. So like, I guess maybe he just like took forever to finish it and he had a great skeleton, but like, I'm not really buying that. Like you weren't able to work her in if you really wanted to. Like either she's going to be in it and they're hiding it, or he just didn't want to continue the Penguin storyline and is just saying that.
I mean, I'm going to spoil the ending of the Penguin, even though you guys didn't watch it, but like
I watched the end of the Penguin.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I liked it. I watched the full season.
Oh shit!
I just watched it like after the episode.
The Penguin. We obviously know that Sophia Falcone and Selena Kyle are half sisters. So like the Penguin ends with Selena Kyle sending Sophia Falcone a letter that says like I want to meet you. Like let's team up, whatever. Like it. If Selena Kyle's in the Batman Part 2, how are you going to explain? Like, are we just going to move past that letter at the end of the Penguin and just assume that they weren't in contact? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure.
It was all a dream.
It was all a dream. Tim Cook says an F1 sequel is definitely something that is being talked about. I hope Tim Cook would shut the fuck up and stop talking about movies.
Who's Tim Cook?
Why?
CEO of Apple.
Shout out, new iPhone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Whoa, you got the new one?
Yeah, 17 Pro Max.
How?
It came out Friday.
What do you mean how? It's out.
Wow, is it fucking hell this time?
They're on 17. I'm still rocking with the 15 right now. Still booling.
I got a 15. Wait, what are they on now?
17.
That's crazy, dude.
Actually, I was 16.
Well, remember the iPhone 5S or the 5E?
The fives. Do you remember the 5Cs, the multicolored
colorful ones? The
5Cs. They were fucking cool, man.
That's how you know we're getting old, because like my first iPhone, I think, was the iPhone like 4 or the iPhone 3GS.
Mine was the 3GS. Yeah, 3GS. What a phone.
And now they're on 17. I could die. James Cameron confirms he is writing a new Terminator movie. I've been unable to get started on that very far because I don't know what to say that won't be overtaken by real events. We are living in a science fiction age right now. James Cameron's an annoying human being.
Did you see the other thing he came out with about the AI the other day?
James Cameron
he came out the other day and was like, AI can be as creative as mine, just needs progression or something along those lines. Like
sometimes I think James Cameron actually thinks he invented AI, and I think
he is really annoying when he speaks.
I
about something.
genuinely
Really
think
annoying.
he thinks he invented AI, and I think he genuinely thinks he's going to save civilization from AI. It's actually hilarious.
I think he's super annoying too. Don't get me wrong, but to his credit, he speaks like a man who every time he makes a movie makes like $2 billion. So kind of.
No, he has the right to speak the way he speaks.
No, I still think he doesn't. I still think he's a complete asshole.
Everyone's quiet. Everyone's quiet with him about the AI thing. I'm sorry, but if other filmmakers said what he said, you'd hear about it more. Like,
for sure.
When he's coming out saying like AI can be as creative as like human mind or whatever he said, it's like, are we fucking hearing this guy right now? Like, if any of the direct, if fucking, imagine if James Gunn said that or Robert Eggers or something,
it'd be over.
It'd be over. It'd be finished. I don't know. Man. It's fucking
James Cameron's starting to lean into Scorsese Guadagnino territory right now, where it's like he has all these Avatar films in the hopper, but now he's like, oh, I'm making a Ghost of Hiroshima film. I'm making a Terminator film. I'm like, all right, but like, let's get these Avatars done.
Out?
It's the
Hiroshima.
He's like, I was like, dude, I thought you had to dedicate the whole rest of your life, and you're like worried you won't even make it even then to finish all these Avatars, and now he's like starting all these side quests too.
How old is he?
Still has a submarine. He's probably diving in every week too. So it's like, how much time you got, buddy?
He's 71 now. He needs to fucking, I don't know.
Yeah, he needs to get going. And then last bit of news: Brandon Perea has been cast as the next male lead in the Insidious movies.
What?
Cool. Cool.
Who's Brendan?
He's the guy in Twisters who yells twins. He's the guy in Nope who works at the video store. I really like.
The Nope. The Nope
obviously,
guy.
Insidious movies aren't for me.
Yeah, just a very.
I don't know if they're for anyone anymore.
Just it's a very nothing casting, unfortunately. But that'll do it. That'll wrap up Real Talk episode.
Oh, 100. George. Last bit of news, because it came out this morning. I wanted to speak about this with you specifically, actually, with both of you. Have you seen the potential news about the George Miller's Mad Max: The Wasteland?
No.
Oh man, this fuck.
Hot off the presses.
So apparently, this is bad news. So apparently, George Miller's Mad Max: The Wasteland, and again, I'm not 100% on the source on this. Is now, instead of being a theatrical release, is being reworked as a mini series for HBO Max.
Oh, boo!
No, that is all you fucking guys who didn't go and see Furiosa. Fuck yourself. Fuck off.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, if Netflix buys HBO Max, I'm sure they'll help convince them to put it in theaters instead of a limited series.
If we don't get the next fucking Mad Max one in like cinemas,
that's garbage, man. That's so garbage. But all right, we'll wrap up this episode on some garbage news. But thank you for stopping by for Real Talk episode 159. Next week is a big week. Unfortunately, I won't be there next week for the Paul Thomas Anderson One Battle After Another special. But maybe I'll make my TikTok movie review debut or return this week and talk One Battle After Another.
Made you return to Twitter, so now TikTok's.
Crazy. Yeah.
I just posted a picture. It's not really a return, but yeah. But between then, on Thursday, we're going to drop a real quick of just a fun little game, guessing the actor from their filmography. And then Friday, we will be, for patrons only, we will be doing the girl with the dragon tattoo. So if you want to take a look at our patron exclusive episodes, look at all the links in the bios. Shout out to our executive producers, Mr. Ollie Powell, Stefan Johnson, and Cole Beaver. Shout out to all of our patrons. And we will see you guys on Thursday. Peace.
Bye.